is ViCi Gaming, and by no means is this an open and shut case for the Swedes.
Early to try and pull a rotation back towards this outer bomb site. A lot of questions to be asked. Here comes his first peek. He's spotted absolutely nothing. There's a nice little trap set up here. Now he's shown himself, and now he can back away slowly. NIP still not moving until just now. Smokes come out. Big task for the defense ahead.
Kaze is able to get above the smoke, but can't really connect too much in the process. Freeman from point-blank range, you're going to get the freebie on Rez. Not going to be able to stop the bomb from being planted, but does instantly neutralize Lecro, putting it into a 2-on-4 now with Forest and Get Right with their backs against the wall, trying to fend off this retake, and they cannot do a single thing about it. ViCi pick up first round in this best of 3.
That is super bold from NIP. They're trying to get a little bit tricky, it looks like. Even with Get Right with that Molotov, the bomb's completely on the other side of the train. And they didn't even clear, they didn't even get anyone. Rez is the only person being aggressive. When we've seen those strategies work, it's multiple people pushing down those lanes so you can at least get that trade kill and secure the bomb site. And planning in the open like that, maybe a little bit of disrespect. Maybe they just didn't expect, maybe they saw something in the demos. But that backfires entirely. The planter can't even get away in time to have any impact on the game. 1-0 for ViCi, a good start. We're going to get the Augs out immediately. And why not? You've seen NIP throughout this tournament, especially yesterday, able to win some of these second rounds, able to win some rounds with Deagles and Glocks in the middle of the half. ViCi wanted to make sure that doesn't happen today.
And of course, one of the reasons why double AWP setups are so prevalent, so strong on this map, are there are open areas to exploit, and the AUG certainly is a weapon that is seeing more and more use. It's so good at range, so good up close. Can spray with it very easily. But ViCi are going to have to fend off against 4 Desert Eagles and the CZ. This is still very much of a threatening round. They cannot take this line down. They have got the first kill, though, Moses. That's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure.
And look how confident they are just with these Augs to be able to stand in the open and just hold the angle against the Deagle. Forrest looking for something, anything. Dennis is back towards Ivy again. Everyone's spread out for NIP. Everyone's just looking for at least one kill that can maybe open something up for the rest of them. Forrest, the most aggressive of anyone, and actually there's this chance right there. Almond's out in the open, but that AUG is just too strong. Second kill in the round for Almond. Dennis now moving up towards Ivy. Advent has his eyes on this, and Get Right down ladder is going to fall to Zoking. This should be a clean round for ViCi. They don't lose anyone. All 5 players survive. But AK's come out now for NIP.
Just the 1 death in 2 rounds. ViCi off to a cracking start, but as you say, AK-47's on the horizon. Lecro 4.7k can easily pick one up as well. And he will have full grenades behind it. I'm kind of curious if we're going to start to see more of the SG picked on maps like this. For the same reason, the AUG's powerful, the SG could certainly have quite a bit of impact.
I think the difference is I feel like the scope weapon makes it so much easier to hold an angle versus peeking into an angle with it. Obviously, a lot of players, the AK is still very strong. Molotov down on lower ramp, NIP, a lot of pressure. It looks like they actually did want to hit that. All 5 players are here. The defense is starting to shift. But that, at least at the moment, ViCi has no idea how many players are in those box halls, and that force out of the Molotov is actually pretty big. They don't have to worry about running through flames on that lower ramp. There's only 1 Molotov left on the CT side. That's on Zoking, and he's actually in ladder room, so won't be able to use it on the execute.
The worry here for NIP, though, is they have nobody watching the flank at all. They're all clumped up in box halls. They're fully committed to this. For all they know, ViCi are flanking, so they're going to just go ahead and push straight in. Flashbang does affect Freeman, but he's still able to land the kill alongside Kaze, who is lighting them up at the back of the site. Again, NIP are going to be able to get onto the site and maybe get the bomb planted, but it should be another retake coming to fruition, barring a Lecro. Magical clutch. He's been spotted and he's been fragged. ViCi off to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, a little bit of a jump on the rotation for ViCi. Get Right not expecting that player to be so close on sidewalk, and that's part of the problem. That third player was in there right when the hit was coming through, so he's able to get a jump on that push. Well played from ViCi. Pretty simple tactics so far from NIP. It's only been 3 rounds and a 3-0 lead for ViCi, but a lot of emphasis on that B bomb site. Not a lot of spread across the map, not a lot of looking for picks from the Ninjas side of things. They got to be careful as well. They haven't done great at finding kills. They only have 3 so far. So money's going to start to grow for the defense. Sean was pretty, as you mentioned, critical of the pick of Train instead of going for a nuke punish, and I guess we'll see exactly how this works out, but as this half goes on, perhaps see why you'd expect something special out of NIP. This round, only Get Right has utility. And they're going to walk right into an AWP. This is going to be the... Ooh, no, he misses a shot. And Molotov deep. It's going to force all of the ninjas away, but again, all 5 players towards inside.
Yeah, because of their lack of utility, they can't afford to throw their one smoke down to extinguish the Molotov and push aggressive. So nades like that going to be doubly effective now from ViCi. As you say, clumped up. ViCi haven't really shown the initiative to go for flanks just yet, but this is something they may do in later rounds.
Look how centralized their defense is already, though. 1 player in ladder room, 1 player along that outer wall. He can rotate quickly. 2nd player at this inner bomb site. This time, no one's coming down that lower ramp, but Freeman on the bomb train. They need to clear him out. Good job from Forrest. These Augs can still do work, but Rez able to finally take down Advent, get that entry into the bomb site. Oh, and a team kill from Kaze. I don't know if maybe he got startled or maybe his teammate just ran in front of the crosshair, but that is a nice little benefit to NIP. They get their first round, finally cracking into that B bomb site.
Well, the ninjas are certainly thankful, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And in doing so, ViCi now going to have to replenish their fallen weapons. So they've been on cruise control up until this point, but this again is how cruel the CT side is. You can have a great start, but as soon as you lose a round, it's going to be a costly investment. They have no money in the bank after this round.
No kits as well. If NIP can do a solid execute and get the bomb planted. Now, NIP has run that strategy, what, 3 of the 4 rounds that they've played so far? Basically 4 people towards inner, at least 3 of those rounds. The only round that didn't happen is the second when they had deagles and spread across the map. Here, again, they're going to spread and change things up. That AWP at the moment, at the back of the inner bomb site on Kaze.
Joined by Freeman, playing a bit more passive angles. Freeman's been on the bomb train, connector, on ramp. This time playing more to the Augs' effectiveness, but as you say, Moses, a bit of a more split and pick approach from the ninjas. They're starting to make a move through Ivy, smoke and Molotov deployed, allowing them some real estate. This is where Advent really does need to shine. If he doesn't get a kill, at least stay alive long enough to allow the rest of the team to come in, but he has picked up Forrest, extinguishes him from the push, and in the meanwhile, Orban is going ham with his Orc, putting it down to just Rez. A nightmare, potentially, for Ninjas of Pyjamas, as finally they win a round and gonna get broke straight back in.
Yeah, not potentially a nightmare. That is the nightmare. 4-1 for ViCi. A great response. Forrest needed that entry. I like the idea. Get your star player in a position to make a play onto the bomb site, wrap around and eliminate the linchpin of the defense on that bomb train. Fortunately, can't handle the SMG in the narrow corridor. But they've got some money. Because of the previous win, they had a pretty strong win. They can still get 3 AK-47s. They have decent utility as well. But this was a tough hit for them. Even Get Right, I believe, getting flanked out in the ladder room.
Back to a similar approach again in round 6. Advent thought about that push, but the flashbang is going to stall him. In comes Forrest looking for his double spray. He's going to connect. And Advent and Orman, the Ivy players, have been neutralized. This forces Kaze's hand to move over and fill in the gaps, but now ViCi are so thinly spread across the map.
Yeah, they even spotted Kaze. It's a nice little individual play from Forrest, the first kill, and then a delayed peek onto the second player. And no one from NIP on the other sides of the map have made a move quite yet. Get Right still holding box halls. He's all on his own. 1 player in ladder room for ViCi, 1 player in connector, and NIP still just waiting patiently, seeing if there's going to be some kind of an information play.
The positions of ViCi, though, if NIP decide to push out of A main, things could get a little bit sketchy for them. This could still turn around.
Oh yeah, they have a good read. They're gamble stacking the outer bomb site in this 3-on-5. If Kaze can get a pick or 2 at that AWP and thin the herd before the rifles have to get into position, that would be so nice. He's gonna have a chance. Here they come. Flashbang is perfectly timed. He misses his opening shot, but there's ladder room. Still big advantage for NIP.
30 seconds left in which to utilize it too, but Zoking is the last remaining ViCi player. He's been spotted in Pop Dog.
Forrest has the bomb, and he's back in T-mid, and that's a big-time peak. Look at the HPs. That's so close. That was almost a very scary situation if Forrest couldn't have made it to the bomb train. I think NIP have finally done it, though. I think this should force a save out of the ViCi side.
Goes to show how brutal the opening pick that Forest was able to get with this double spray, which you're going to see now from Ivy. Instantly ViCi on the back foot.
They must have misread the money. They must have thought that was going to be a save round. Both of those players were very committed. It's not necessarily unusual to see that first player push down with some utility from the support, but for both of them to get caught in that alley is a bit rough.
So ViCi now, no Kevlar, few pistols sprinkled here and there. They'll be looking to play more forward positions as a result. Really, any key kills would be a nice juicy bonus, but it's not really looking too likely at this stage.
Katowice tossing a smoke down lower ramp, not utilizing it, maybe just trying to get some counter nades, a counter Molotov or flashbang. Definitely showing a little bit of presence towards inner to make ViCi feel nervous. A third player has come to this inner bomb site.
Molotov just to make sure no pesky CTs hiding in Ivy with the close angles where the pistols really do shine. More players now maneuvering across to the B side. 4-player strong ViCi. Advent originally on the A side of the map. Time is starting to dwindle a little bit though. NIP gonna have to get a move on, starting to make a move outside. Advent is using the bomb as his sanctuary, but it has been found out from Dennis. And ViCi will crumble alongside him. NIP on the brink of just cutting this deficit to 1 round.
Ooh, hello. Freeman's had a good start to this game. He's won 3 of the 3 opening duels that he's had. And obviously some fine deagle work here. Anything else he can get would be great. Forrest holding this with the AWP, and that's a nice shoulder peek. Forrest going to get into some safety as Get Right. Who else? On the flank, on the lurk, and Freeman's going to go down here. Oh, okay. Don't do that to me, Get Right. Not you. You're too pure. 3-4, still in the favor of ViCi on the defense, but this is nice for NIP. Looked a little bit sketchy those first 3 rounds, or, you know, maybe in the first 5 rounds, considering that's when ViCi got their 4. A lot of those hits towards the inner bomb site falling flat, but now that they've taken control of the economy, don't have to worry about an AWP at the moment. Already at 3, this is a good place to be for the Ninjas, especially if they can win this. ViCi have gone for the buy. A couple players right on the edge. The AUG players don't have enough money to get utility behind it, and a couple players relegated to FAMAS. So a pretty big advantage of arsenal of firepower for NIP.
After a rocky start, seemingly starting to calm the nerves a little bit. We saw Pitta in his interview earlier. Looked pretty anxious, to say the least. A lot on the line, understandably.
Yeah, I don't know if that was because of their opposition. I would imagine it's just because they've fallen flat in a few games throughout this challenger stage, and obviously an elimination game at the major is going to make anyone nervous. Fire rains down, and Freeman gives death. They line up for him, but he cannot connect. That was close to being a double.
I honestly thought he had it too, but he has put Rez down to 4 health. So this retake going to be a lot more manageable. Downside, no Molotovs, no HEs, and a spray damage through the smoke. But Omen will stand tall. Delivers. They'd love to have a Molotov at this stage, but it's just a HE and a flashbang. There is a smoke in play for Advent anyway. And ViCi move as one. A swarm of counter-terrorists trying to reclaim what was once theirs. Forest gonna swat away Zoking. Have a quick peek across to the bomb, which is being defused in the smoke, but Dennis, his 6th sense was tingling, and he will not allow that to occur. The round is done. ViCi are doing significant damage to Nip, but it's gonna be 4-4. The bomb will detonate.
I'm really curious about this plant spot from NIP. Obviously something they've discussed as a plan to come into it, but, you know, some chances. We saw it in the pistol round. That round, immediately after planting, Lekro just dies to spam through the smoke, so that spot's a certain element of danger for the Ninjas, but doesn't matter so far too much. 4-4. Alman has that AUG. I'm assuming you can see that plant pretty easily from the upper ramp.
Yeah, Bomb in a bit of a precarious position at the end, but they just about held on, courtesy of Dennis. Now, as you highlighted, Orman has the Orc, which he was able to save. In the meanwhile, couple P250s. Bit of utility for ViCi, but Rez not going to be too deterred by that, decides to push straight out. Good to see NIP playing a bit more aggro. Beautiful spray control from Rez and Forest. Yields 2 more casualties. And ViCi now just have Advent. It is important to highlight, though, that NIP have very low players. Rez, Lekro, Forest, all below 40 HP. The P250 could be a cannon at this stage.
Nice job by Rez, just holding the side of the bomb train, waiting for someone to walk around to try and stop the plant. 3 kills in the round for him. He's at 7 and 4. Forest, again, leading the way, 9 and 5. And NIP take their first lead of the map. 5 rounds on their T side so far, looking pretty good. Weapons coming out again, though, as not the full losing bonus. They have 4-round losing bonus at the moment, so almost there for ViCi, but that's enough to give them the AWP. 3 AUGs in play, 1 M4.
Just the 1 kit, though. They're going to have to be careful. Rez again aggro. This time's a Molotov to greet him.
I like that play, though. In another round, he likely gets that kill. GetRight's got to be careful. Oh, that flashbang didn't work as well as he would have thought. Went for the jump. Aggressive play. 3 members of ViCi inside. I don't know if he spotted all 3. Certainly he saw 2. There's the AUG as Rez tries to take advantage of a weird situation. And now Force, he's up to task. And even he's dropped by Allman. Great round for ViCi. And this is exactly what they need if they want to get back into their winning ways. 5 players still up.
Lekro can't deal with any of them. Orman will survive with just 19 health and a 4K to his name. Not bad at all. And it's a strange thing to say, but I'm glad that we're seeing NIP at least die while playing aggressively, because yesterday they seemed so tentative, they seemed so passive.
Yeah, that opening map of their series, they did seem like a little bit of like the elimination nerves were getting to him, which is interesting considering how experienced Dennis, Force, and GetRight all are. Even Rez and Lekro at this point, you have to say, pretty experienced in big events. We're all tied up, Vince. NIP, they've invested everything they have left into this round. Early Molotov going to come in. They don't want to deal with that early aggression. They're fortunate to get away without having been picked in the previous round.
Some info gathering happening also on Ivy while a skirmish breaks out on the A side. So far it's going the way of the Asian team. Dennis looking to tip the scales back in NIP's favor, but ViCi will regain the lead. So we are going back and forth now between the 2 teams.
That was so close to turning in the favor of NIP. Advent coming through the smoke and picking off Rez when he had a nade in his hands, I think is really what kind of saved the day. They would have had an open avenue into the A bomb site. So ViCi sustain after being reset earlier. Able to string 2 rounds together, and now they have plenty of utility, plenty of money. They even have the AWP on Kaze still. It's the Ninjas who are back to pistols. We've seen them win a lot of these. Not too much invested. 1 Deagle, 1 P250 for the offense. So unless that Deagle is going to find you some picks on Forest, I'm not sure that NIP can create an opening.
Yeah, typically the rounds that NIP have won in this similar situation, they've had a couple more Desert Eagles, maybe a bit of Kevlar. So if a bomb does go awry, they can pick it up and use it against the enemy team, but this is pretty bare bones. Forest and his Desert Eagle currently residing back towards the bathroom side. Gonna start to move up there now. ViCi pretty centralized, as you can see from the flyover. A triple stack on A, watching all the angles.
I like how passive they're being. In a round where you know you have such an advantage of long-range weapons, just stay back, no one get close to the choke points, let them out if need be. Even towards the inner bomb site. And potentially giving up the plant, which isn't the biggest deal in the world.
Freeman does have a Molotov too, so if he starts to see the players jump across, the Molotov can be put down, stop the bomb from being planted. Unfortunately for NIP, they have no smoke to counteract that play.
Yeah, this should be a slaughter. Unless Forest baits Dennis properly and hits a stunner. You can see Force coming out second and actually taking a little bit to get those kills. There's now a way for them to drop down with the bomb, but Almond's going to adjust. He's found Force. Bomb is in the site. This plant would be quite nice, and it is going to go down from Get Right, who is taken out immediately. So is Rez, but the extra $800 is going to be very, very nice for them in the next round. Full losing bonus not built up. It'll be 3 rounds plus the 800. And now they can get whatever they want. Force got 6,200. We haven't seen anyone on NIP bring out the AWP yet on this T side, so that might be a nice change in the way they attack, but they go for the 5 AKs.
Suggests aggression, suggests a set play. As he said, I mean, honestly, I feel like that was mission accomplished. They got a bomb plant, they got a kill with what, I think it was P250 and Desert Eagle. That's pretty much all they had.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to bring out. Took so long for Freeman to get the kill in the first 2 players. Force was eventually able to tag him down just enough. 7-5 in the favor of the Chinese side. More aggression towards Ivy. They've done this a number of times. Again, they're both completely blind. They're both in Ivy. Lekro's going to get aggressive, daring Kaze to hit it a spectacular shot. It's not to be, and now they can press the issue. Lekro with 3 quick kills and a great trade from Force. This is surely a round in the Ninja's favor. A 4-on-1. Make that 2 now.
And they haven't got the bomb planted either. Starting to make a move with Rez towards the B side of the map. So Freeman has done so much work. Still 100% of his health. Still has himself a smoke and a flashbang. This round may have a couple more twists and turns in it yet.
The fact that he has 100 health is important. This is a winnable 2-on-1, or 1-on-2, I should say. Looking for that peek. Waiting for it with the AUG. They double peek towards lane, and he's found one. Somehow he's been able to isolate it. Rez using the noise perfectly. Headshot to the side, and NIP get their 6th, but that was way more difficult than it seemed like it was going to be.
Very unfortunate for Freeman. He just wasn't expecting 2 players to be stacked. Thought the second maybe on catwalk, maybe ramp. Was pushing aggressively to try and beat the peak.
That was a sick round from Lekro, and they almost let it slip away. Talked in the pre-show about how quiet he's been and how impactful he's been for the Ninjas at time. This was good. He saw his opportunity and he went for it. That happened so fast that Zoking wasn't able to react to the situation.
I'm so happy to say we've actually got a game on our hands here, Moses.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Here we go. Dennis legged now. He's going to have to back away. He wanted to go for an aggressive peek.
Four-player stack on A. In the meanwhile, this leaves Freeman alone with an AUG looking at box halls. Flashbang into Pop Dog, gonna have a peek here. This is gonna backfire though. Get Right was not affected by that at all.
Staring into the wall. Smart play from Get Right. They might be able to catch Freeman. This is a pretty bold play. Now holding an off angle, but he'll have a quick flank down the ladder. It's only Dennis with 19 HP. 3 players defending the A bomb site for ViCi, and they're far back. 2 players in connector, including the AWP. Almond's in a bit of a weird situation because Freeman is so far pushed up, he doesn't exactly seem to know where he wants to go. Oh, Dennis is going to get dropped here.
Pretty comfortably, has found out some intel, but doesn't really tell Nip a great deal. Only saw 1 player in box halls. Now going to smoke outside of Ivy. Advent feels like he may have to push through here. Flashbang in his eyes. Can hear the footsteps though, but now Forrest goes in. Here comes Advent from the backside, but Get Right's watching his teammates' backs. And that's going to give the advantage to Nip, but there's 15 seconds left and Kaze is struck, dealing the fatal blow to Lekro. Bomb sprawls out. 10 seconds now and Freeman is on the move. Can he get the drop on the first play? Yes, he can. Spray is not on point, and Get Right, as he has so many times through the years, is going to dig Nip out of a deep ditch.
Impact kills. That last one obviously winning the round, but it's the route he runs after he goes towards inner. He goes back towards mid, and he's pushing up that first lane, and he's able to get the trade as the Ivy defender comes through the smoke, and that was the big one. Because that player coming through the smoke had 2 kills free until Get Right shut him down, was only able to get the 1. All tied up, and in this last round, a scattered buy for ViCi. P250 on Almond, Scout on Freeman, SMG on Advent, and Zoking.
Dennis tries his hand with the AWP, not going to connect. In the meanwhile, Zoking's going to make a move into Pop Dog with his MP9. Haven't really seen ViCi play aggressively in terms of flanking. Seen a couple of moments where they pushed Ivy, but that's about it. No one trying to get through main. We're going to see this flash into peak again. Forest not really in position to go for it yet.
Well, we have seen some aggression, remember, from ViCi. They've had a couple of those rounds where they pushed 2 down Ivy to peak alley, and they've just been shut down each and every time they've done it, unfortunately. It hasn't gotten them anything, and it seems to be what they want to rely on. Oh dear.
Well, that's payback for Kaze's team kill earlier, I guess.
Is Lecco going to check this, though? Yes, he is. I think he spotted maybe a barrel. Advent saw his as well. Molotov going to force Zoking back, and is it going to spread? No, but all of his teammates are dying. Good shots from Rez. Good awareness. Kaze out in the open. He's got to wheel his way around. E-Box, Get Right's got that one. Now watching the flank. He's ready for Alman, and he's going to have not a kill. Not yet.
Alman on borrowed time is going to find the kill onto Get Right. It's a 1v2. Only has a P250 to his name. He would desperately love to grow a few meters on those arms and pick up the AK, but it's not going to be happening. And the Ninjas will take the lead going through to the second half.
8-7 on their map pick, the opening map in this series. We mentioned there's no more mistakes to give if you're the Ninjas trying to move on to the Legends stage with the Legends in their lineup. An impressive first half. We'll see how the second one goes when we return from the break.
And I'll take it, yeah, reminded.
Eight-7 lead for the Ninjas, transitioning over to the CT side of Train. It's Forrest and Rez leading the way, but it's Freeman and Alman on ViCi Gaming that are lighting up the scoreboard. 20 kills for Alman, 16 for Freeman, but they still find themselves with a 1-round deficit. And if they want to win this map in regulation, they have to get 9 rounds on their T side. That is a tall task.
Especially against the Ninjas on their pick of map. This is going to be a rough one. And Alman also 132 ADR. It's unbelievable that ViCi are actually trailing at this stage. But this pistol could be everything. If Nip can pick this up, it's going to give them a great platform to build off on their CT side. ViCi Gaming, in the meanwhile, sending 4 players strong over towards the B side of the map. Going to actually be dropping the bomb. So a bit of a declaration of intent. We're not going to see any early aggression for the time being. going to be feeling this one out first.
Far back on the defense. Dennis wants this fight, though. The USP reigns supreme at this range. No continued aggression, though, as ViCi shows just one player. They're spread across the map. They don't want to commit to anything just yet. Rez is going to hear all this jumping, now sees the feet, takes a shot, tags him, and that's going to let ViCi know equally that he's here. Rez has to be careful. Double drop coming down, an immediate headshot, but Freeman gets an important trade.
Now the bomb has been picked up, going to make a move straight towards the A side. Molotov to the back, making sure no one can peek from the right side of the site, allowing the terrorists to funnel their way centrally, directly to the heart of round 16. Kaze is going to be picking up a couple, but it's by and large going to be going the way of Nip for the time being, as Forrest is going to land himself too as well, leaving Orman to try and repel the onslaught, try and cave in these CTs. Forrest is feeling it. That's 3 kills with the USP, and Nip will pick up the second pistol.
Forrest wants that legend stage so bad. That is a really nice pistol round. One thing that NIP lost track of was that one player coming along that first alley, along the wall. Able to wrap onto the bomb site and find Get Right. That almost opened the round up, but spectacular shots from Forrest. 3 kills. Both pistols now going... Oh, no, excuse me. They didn't win the pistol in the first half, did they? ViCi did.
I believe ViCi did, yeah. So it has gone even.
I take it all back.
That is crisp aim from Forrest.
Takes his face off. Timeout, ViCi. Second round of the second half. There had been no timeouts used in that first half. ViCi wants to talk some things over, and with that plant, I mean, they're all sitting right around 3,000, so they could go for some kind of force up. That'd be a big gamble, though. Down 7 to 9 on your T side on the harder half of train. If you're going to invest early, you better make damn sure you win that round. It's so crazy to me that Allman and Freeman are just dominating the server. They still find themselves 2 rounds down. 21 kills for Allman, 130 ADR. 17 kills for Freeman, 112 ADR. The most on Nip is Forrest with 15, and the highest ADR is 89 on Forrest.
I don't want to single a player out, but unfortunately, Advent's on the other side of the coin. 3 and 10 with 25 ADR only.
Yeah, I guess that does even things out, doesn't it?
That's going to be a bit of an issue.
Well, they don't go for the full investment. Deagles, 4 of them, a P250 on Advent as well with the utility. Good utility damage, or good initial damage from NIP on Allman and Zoking. Even Rez is able to grab Freeman down to half HP. His buy not doing a whole lot for ViCi quite yet.
ViCi going to be limping their way towards A main at this stage. A bunch of injured players. Nip don't really need to do anything at this stage. They've got every angle covered. They've got the advantage. See no grenades being used just yet. Flashbang going to be flying over towards the E-box. It's a triple spray. Rez is going to get 2. Forrest alongside him with 1. And the round is over in a heartbeat. 10-7.
Yeah, that one flashbang can't do enough to both having a player at E-box with an M4 and the UMP in ladder room. Good round from Nip. How much are they going to upgrade here? They know the buy is coming out, especially with that plant in the pistol, but they still have 2 UMPs and actually a scout on Lekro, so maybe feeling like they have enough advantage to where they can risk playing 1 round with a couple lesser weapons. So there's actually a pretty decent opportunity, as Kaze has an AWP, 4 AKs around it on this attacking side. Ooh.
In terms of firepower, ViCi certainly a step ahead, but the early trade going to go back and forth.
It's pretty cool. NIP puts both UMPs to get aggressive, and oh, Forrest comes right in. The aim punch, though. Kaze got drilled, and now they're going to try and trade that out as Forrest slowly backs away, but Dennis up above is providing cover. NIP, they have everything figured out. 2 kills for Dennis, and the AWP on Allman is going to get 1 kill, but what more can he find?
It's not looking good, is it? Well, here's the answer instantly. 11-7, and ViCi, off the back of their full buy, have been silenced again. Barely anything to invest in this round. Some pistols, probably not much else.
It almost feels like they maybe felt a lot of pressure and sped up that strategy. As soon as that push towards inner came, they just booked it down ladder and just attacked, right? There's a minute and a half left, and all these ViCi players are just stringing out. No one's blind. There's no smokes to block off these Augs. Maybe a little bit rushed, which is understandable considering the situation they're in. Nice shot from Lekro. He's going to back away. He's got Get Red on the lower ramp to try and slow things down, but Lekro is safely out of there. So a man advantage for the Ninjas.
Arman, who originally was going down to Pop Dog to try and get some kind of a flank in play because they've lost the first player, decides to try and bolster up the Boxhall side. Dennis is going to see action momentarily. It's always going to go his way. Not a single point of health has been lost for the Swedes. And ViCi eyeing up the very real possibility of a 5-round deficit, but Forest has been plucked out, courtesy of Orman. Some good movement to actually survive and keep the AK, but just delaying the inevitable.
Look at Advent. Snake in the grass. Gonna wrap around. He wants to find Dennis. Not gonna go for the knife, even though he had his back turned. Just wants the kill. Now he's got the AUG. What more can he do? If he can open something up for Kaze, that'd be massive. There is a player, Rez, that you could see him backing off. He was overexposed at E-Box with no one to watch his flank, and I don't think they have any idea where Advent went. Now they know. Now they certainly know. Kaze with one, and it's a 2-on-2. They do have control of the bomb as well, but NIP can rotate pretty quick.
NIP, how have you got into this position? You were commanding this round, 25 seconds, and it should still go their way, but the damage has been done, and Get Right, honestly, was pretty close to death himself at the end. So Nip will get a 12-7 lead, but far too close for comfort.
Yeah, smart play from Advent, just staying posted up. Reading that Get Right was going to swing with him, just knowing there could possibly be a second player there. 7-12, though. ViCi still not able to get any production on their offense, and they're going to call a timeout. Another buy coming in with the AKs, and you might as well use your timeouts while you've got them on this map. It's slowly getting out of reach, but they did great damage to the economy of NIP, so they cannot let this opportunity slip away. If they want a chance of coming back in this, making a run, stealing the map away, or forcing overtime, they need to get on the winning ways right now.
It's cool to see Nip as well, a team that is pretty versatile when it comes to their AWPers. You sometimes see Dennis pick it up, Forest, Lekro. Depends on how they're feeling on the given game, I guess. Kind of hard to anti-strat, though, I'd imagine, if you're trying to figure out how to play against Nip.
Keeps things spicy.
Well, here we go. Let's see if ViCi can bounce back. It is 4 unanswered rounds on the CT side for Ninjas and Pyjamas. And if ViCi lose this, it could be the beginning of the end for Train. No quick play.
First step for ViCi is they need to force Rez out of ladder room at some point. He's been in there the majority of this half. Was there a pistol round? Was there the ensuing round with the UMP? Been in there a couple times with the guns. Ladder room is so critical to a terror side to help them maneuver between the bomb sites. Get them out of tough situations quickly.
NIP have expended quite a bit of their grenades already, though. Rez is able to hold the line with 2, shutting down the A main push. And also Pop Dog. Exquisite play by Rez, single-handedly closing this round off. And now Freeman has the tenuous task of even doing a bit of damage in this round now.
I'd have to watch that back, because I don't think Rez had any utility left when that hit came in, but it looked like the ladder players threw that Molotov down to try and force Rez away from ladder room, but it was so mistimed with that hit outside that the player above ladder couldn't actually drop to help them get out mid. Rez was just able to kind of get a bunch of free kills.
That's an awkward flash. Just destroyed himself.
Yeah, it is kind of uncomfortable. Rez gonna grab a new angle, immediate headshot. Great round from Rez. You can see the strength of that position, not only holding ladder room, but able to help out in mid as well with very good effect. 13-7. NIP with a 6-round lead. And 5-0 run on this CT. I just muted myself halfway through a sentence.
Classic. And also, to just add a little bit of salt in the wounds, their economy's not fantastic. They're going to be able to force a buy of AKs, but a couple of players are going to be a bit low on utility. Galil picked up on Kaze and Arman. 3 smokes, a couple of Molotovs. One's just been tossed out towards the Ivy side. Which doesn't give them many options, though. Starting to snake their way towards the B side of the map. And Get Right is starting to make a move back. He does have an AUG, though, so again, long range is going to be on his side.
Ooh, Dennis. Feast or famine. They jump down. He's a little bit blind. Can't hit the first shot. He's got to transition. Ullman's got to kill. That's finally Rez taken in ladder room, but Dennis is going to follow things up. 3 players here at the center site for ViCi. Get Right hasn't been able to get into the action just yet. Molotov out, maybe force Freeman into the open. It's Zoking they've got to worry about. He's close up. He can be such a hindrance to this retake for NIP. There's Get Right burning him alive, checking the corner as well. Get Right's got 2.
Freeman and Orman, what can you get done? No grenades to counteract the push. Both of them on the lower side. Freeman's going to go 1 for 1, and Lecro repeats, gets his second, and Ninjas in Pyjamas will move 14-7 in the lead.
Everyone performing well for NIP. You have to think of Rez and Force as kind of the driving force of this team, but Dennis, Lecro, and Get Right are playing very solid. Not a whole lot of openings for ViCi to exploit in this defense. Get Right pushing up on the high train, the oil tanker, finding 2. Allman has 25 kills now. He leads the server.
And yet this team are getting battered 14-7.
Yeah, that always hurts.
This must be what ELO hell feels like. This could be their last chance, Moses, to mount a significant real comeback. If not, we're heading to Inferno. Is their choice of map? Zoking gonna try and take matters into his own hands. Doesn't care about the smoke, he's just gonna push. We haven't seen this kind of aggression too many times from the Asian team. Maybe he's gonna get rewarded.
I think he will. This will be interesting. I don't know. He might have missed his chance, but I don't think they'll expect it whatsoever. I don't think they would have thought that anyone would have pushed through that smoke in mid. No one's really acknowledging that this is a possibility. Forrest backing away. Rez on just the other side of that outcropping, but Forrest has an eye on that choke point, that gap in the trains. It's all about timing for Zoking. Still hasn't made his move. Outer train yard, this A bomb site, under a lot of pressure.
Zoking's been spotted. Rez should be going for the peak, but Kaze lends his teammate a hand, and Zoking will be getting a second in this trade. Dennis finally does stand up for Ninjas and gives ViCi a bit of an issue, but that has been rectified. And as now they're going to procure the bomb plant onto the site. ViCi going to decide to push aggressively afterwards into connector, but Get Right was Ladle waiting with his AUG. 2-on-2. Up in the air, really anybody's round. There is a bit of utility for Ninjas in Pyjamas, nothing for ViCi. Blackro's going to see if verticality will bring him victory. Oh, the shot onto Advent. Impressive reaction speed. Alman now is going to go down to the same hands. Lecro's on a tear. And Ninjas in Pyjamas have an 8-round lead.
ViCi's got it. Their players just have to be scratching their head. First, Get Right on the defense outlurks that player trying to flank in, and that Molotov in towards Z just completely ruins ViCi's day. He was the last member alive to stop that. A great retake and a 2-on-3. Lecro with the AWP making it look easy. ViCi just have no answers for this NIP performance. They do at least get the bomb plant. They had the full losing bonus. That extra $100 is going to help them out with utility. So another chance, but the idea of them winning 8 in a row just seems like a fairy tale at this point.
It really does, which is kind of a microcosm of ViCi at this major. A fairy tale is dangling in front of them, the idea of qualifying to the next stage.
I believe we call it a Cinderella story.
Sure do, but this one may not have a happy ending.
Oh dear. Rez and Force have an idea. Dennis with the off angle as well. It's a slaughter. No ability to trade those kills. Oh, he almost just dropped a Molotov at his feet. And Rez takes off the head, and this is going to be a quick finish for NIP. It's going to be 16-7. The Ninjas will take us to map 2.
0 rounds won from ViCi on their T side. This is a nip that we haven't quite seen yet this tournament. There's going to be many happy Swedes out there after Fnatic fell earlier.
Yeah, it felt like communication was on point. Obviously, the individuals there. Rez finishes with 23 kills, 13 deaths. Force was the one who was really kicking off early. A couple big kills over towards Ivy and ViCi. They get stopped cold. That's just map 1. When we return, we're going to have the Des talk us through that domination from NIP, and then we'll get on to Inferno.
bomb site. They went there time and time again, so they must have seen a weakness in that defense from ViCi Gaming, and by that you can only give kudos to NIP. They have seen a weakness, they made a fully utilization of it, and in the end they end up winning a very convincing 16-7, despite it could have been closer.
Kudos definitely for Alman as well. I mean, he hasn't been the the name at the tip of your tongue for ViCi. We've got Freeman, Kaze, both of them have truly impressed Advent and his leadership and its development as well, but Alman now a big part of that conversation. 26 frags, well over 100 at ADR, closing in on 120, and I think that definitely is going to be one of my biggest takeaways from the ViCi side of things.
And that's the problem for ViCi, because yes, he's a great player, and yes, he had a great showing, but the impact he had was not enough for them to get close. They needed KC to come in with the AVP, establish some dominance, be a vital moving part for that lineup, and he wasn't able to do that with the AVP, and that was one of the biggest problems for ViCi in this one.
Yeah, I think Alman had something like 15 frags after 10 rounds. Freeman had a phenomenal game, but yeah, I agree. Kaze needed to step up, and Advent didn't really have the best game either.
No, he wasn't able to frag and lead in that instance. I think that's an interesting point, and I think it's worth raising now, is that Chad actually tweeted it out about just how powerful the AWP should have been, or expectations surrounding Kaze being the best AWP in the server. When you look at the fact that NIP really still lack that dedicated AWP, a conversation we've yet to have here in Katowice surrounding the Swedes, I think that's worth having. You know, going into the next two maps, NIP, of course, one map up, Inferno next. Does that AWPing from the Chinese give them any sort of advantage?
I mean, it becomes a little bit less significant than on a map like Train, I feel. KC has definitely been one of the best AWPers, not only on ViCi, but in the entire tournament so far, and also in the minor, I would say. He's not really been playing up to his absolute best, but when he's on, and he can definitely establish some dominance and some presence, and that's what they need. Go towards Banana, establish some presence, make sure that you can rotate 4 guys towards the other bomb side, and work off that rotation. They need him to step up, they need him to be a vital part of this ViCi lineup, otherwise they're going to lack a little bit of firepower.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. We saw him miss that early shot when he pushed the upper ramp on CT side. He wasn't really feeling it with the AWP, and then the economy was just gone. So he didn't have that many opportunities. Inferno is something we've seen him thrive on. Honestly, he's their best player on Inferno. He's had so many good performances on this map throughout, the minor system, and now the major the challenger stage. So I would expect this map will be a lot better for Kaze.
And interestingly enough, this is ViCi's most played map across the minor and here in the major. They have played it approximately, quick maths is hard, 4 + 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Got a B at GCSEs somehow. But yes, they played against Vitality, Cloud9, North, Renegades. It does seem to be their giant killer, the map that they can pull out of their pocket against the big dogs.
Definitely, and it's a more open map than Train is. I think it's going to be easier for them, especially on the CT side, to be more aggressive and establish more presence on the map, force NIP into some uncomfortable situations. Anyhow, that's how ViCi plays, right? They play a very aggressive style of Counter-Strike, and I think Inferno allows a little bit more aggression, so to speak, in that regard.
It does, and I really like the approach they use at Banana that I've seen throughout this challenger stage. They'll smoke in front of the logs as CT, and then as that's fading, they'll molly behind it and then smoke deeper in Banana. So they're like slow sieging as CT, taking all of Banana. And I don't really see much of a way for the T's to combat that.
So, I mean, let's theorycraft it then. So they're doing a deep smoke towards logs, so your choice is either be in front of that and take a fight, or be behind it.
The only solution would be as they throw that molly, you're behind the smoke, you molly the top of Banana, and then you push through after.
But what you've just done there is talk about a huge investment of T-side resources.
Also, you do take a lot of damage from the nades following up with the smokes and grenades. So it's always, that's what's so fun about Inferno. In general, you're always constantly going to fight for that Banana control. So whichever team that can establish that control and do it the most efficient way is also going to have a big upper hand when it comes to the other hits on the other bomb side. Because if you're able to stack 4 men towards the bigger bomb side on Inferno, you're like already by then in a position to deal with that much better than you were before. Okay, time for you to put your money where your mouth is, guys. Where does this one go? Do we get a third is the question. What are your expectations for ViCi coming into Inferno?
I believe we're going to have an NIP starting on CT side, and that's a problem for me right now if I'm on the ViCi side, because we haven't seen anything out of their T sides. We've seen them have so much success on their CT side playing the bomb sites. Honestly, I didn't think they were that aggressive on CT. They're not playing like Tai Lu as far as aggression goes. They just have a lot of strong individual players, but I don't see them winning a lot of rounds on T side, and this could get really difficult for them.
They got 5 T rounds on Inferno versus Vitality, but I'm pretty sure that was including some mad overtime as well. So it doesn't really add up in the grand scheme of things. So that's test 1 from Sean. Pimp, what about you?
No, I definitely agree to what Sean said. I think they need a good start on the T side. They need to make sure NIP's money doesn't get out of control. Now, especially when we talk about having the AWP as a presence as well. The AWP is so strong also on Inferno. So if it gets out of hand and NIP gets to invest into that continuous round after round, then they will have problems. So a good start on the T side, make sure to keep the low economy going for NIP, and then tries to force them into some uncomfortable position. Set a present, be aggressive, and see if you can rattle them out. We did see it yesterday against Vegas Squad 1. NIP is not at the best right now, so if you want to win, you got to rattle them out.
Expose that weakness. And ViCi, I mean, if you haven't seen them play before, especially on Inferno, you're in for a treat. It is a different style of play that gets under the skin of many, especially established players used to a particular style of Counter-Strike. Yes, they're at the top echelon of Counter-Strike, but how do they handle the curveball that is ViCi Gaming? One team. Will it be ViCi eliminated here, or will NIP fall and take us to a third? Answers to those questions and more coming up with Moses and Vince.
The Chinese team have their backs against a very great wall, and they must do something very impressive, and that is have a solid offense. Something we haven't seen too much, and certainly on Train, they got blanked on their T side, and now they must start there.
They're going to have to show us more than what they have before. And the Ninjas, you better believe, have been on those demos. They've been grinding hard for this map to allow it to slip through. They're going to have this counted, you have to feel. But they also look fantastic in that first map. The first half was a little bit dodgy, but as soon as they got on their CT side, they looked awesome.
The teamwork and the cohesion of NIP on that first map was very impressive. And this, a designed flashbang, get right, goes to clear with the CZ. Nothing to see in Banana. Immediately rotating back, they've left a player at car. That's going to be Rez, one of their best performers on Train. I think actually he ended up as their best performer on Train. One player for ViCi watching this flank as the rest of his team takes bracket control. Plenty of NIP defenders ready to swing and peek on this side as soon as Dennis sees something, and they're going to get the action. There's a nade out. That's perfect. That's so much damage. Oh, they've been chucked down. That's beautiful from Get Right, but it's a B-split.
The tactical nuke certainly landed there, but now Rez has got to get his skates on, get back to the site. It could be for naught if they can just pile onto this and get the bomb planted soon. Rez just holding. Trying to stay alive as long as he possibly can. If he can take down a player with him, all the better for it, but he has fallen. So that early damage is somewhat negated as the bomb has now been planted. Get Right, though, with a CZ is always going to be a nuisance, always going to be a menace. And he's posted up in garden alongside Dennis. Lecro and Forest sitting back at CT side and not going to push just yet. There's Zoking with another one. If NIP lose this round after all the advantages they had, it is going to be a brutal body blow and the perfect way for ViCi to start off their map. And it's going to be Kaze going in for seconds. Forest had 3 kills in the first pistol. Back on Train, and now he's going to have to go on better and try and get that bomb defused, and there's not going to be enough time. He's stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and it's going to be Omen that gets ViCi across the finish line. They get the first pistol on Inferno.
That's massive in the context of this series. A good start on their T side of Inferno would be huge. One of the best ways to do that is to be able to just keep the money low for NIP, and that first buy for the Ninjas is going to be a bit rough. Actually, I say that, but they're going to buy right now. They're going to go into it with Deagles and utility. Rez decides to get aggressive instead of holding out towards Ruins, out towards Construction, and just waiting for his teammates to come in. He felt like he could grab at least one before falling back and make that retake a little bit easier, and it backfires on him. Lecro with the Deagle.
4 Deagles in total alongside the UMP. So firepower certainly is not an issue. But a utility as well. So ViCi going to have to be careful in this round. It's definitely not a gimme.
The question is, how long can NIP hold their nerve? How long can they go without using one of these smokes? And Get Right looks like he just wants to put one out immediately, as waiting for some indication that flashbang was it. That was the worrying sign. Not enough smokes in the Ninja's hands to delay the hit all the way down to the end of the round.
Get Right's B partner of Rez also has a smoke, however, so he can choke off and stall a little bit longer, and he's just thrown it out now.
That's also why they're rotating Forest over there. He's got another smoke, so they want to make sure that B is properly smoked up and they can stack the A bomb site if Forest can get back quick enough after tossing his. But they're going to miss that opportunity as ViCi's lining up right now for the hit. Into pit we go. Dennis with the UMP's got to do some work, can do nothing. Great openings from Advent. 2 headshots in the pit. Kaze is going to respond as well.
It's going to be a save. Rez and Forest, no chance, no hope, and they still have something to play with in the next round if they can save these 2 Deagles. Flashbang and a defuse kit. Decent amount of equipment value. Don't want to throw that away. But ViCi will move to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a big conversion. And you can see as well on the map, they want to hunt these Deagles down. They don't want NIP to have anything useful in the next round. That's pretty interesting. This could be costly for them. Easier to manage on the T side. That missed shot from Rez and Forest, although they are getting some damage, done some tagging, but now close up, the SMGs can go to work. Rez has 1, but surely he doesn't get out of this. 3 players around him. Good shot there. Can't convert. Advent's going to end with a triple kill. Jumping around the corner, and it's 2-0 for ViCi.
Yeah, a couple losses, definitely sustainable for ViCi, and they're glad to just get those Deagles away. No kit, no flash either. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount invested into this round. At least I hope we don't from the Ninjas.
No, they're not going to invest anything. Maybe some P250s. You can see a Zeus there on Dennis, CZ. Just a small amount of things that can cause some damage, but nothing that can really be relied upon to turn the round in their favor. It's a great nade onto Forest as well.
They've done that nade a couple of times now. I wonder if Nip are going to stop peeking so early on. Freeman, a free kill onto Rez. Going to draw out Lekro onto the rotation. Try and help get right out as much as he possibly can. USP is doing significant damage behind the fountain. Get right is being a real pain in the backside.
He got the follow-up dink. P250 might have been able to go to town. Regardless, you have to like the aggression, the confidence from ViCi, knowing in this round after they took the Deagles and armor away in the previous, that there's nothing that NIP really have that can stop them from marching right into that B bomb site. Just 1 player falls, not a huge deal. So it'll be 3-0 for ViCi before the NIP gets the rifles out. Couldn't have asked for a better start if you're rooting for the Chinese team.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, if you've just joined us, Nip won their choice of train, and the fact of the matter is, the winner proceeds to the next stage of the major, the group stage, and the loser goes home. So everything on the line. I think for ViCi, look, they're the heavy underdogs. They were coming into this tournament.
Yeah.
If they lose this, people are still going to say you had a great event. You turned a lot of heads. You showed what you're capable of doing. If Nip lose this, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of speculation.
If Nip get eliminated here, that would be a problem. They wouldn't want to load Twitter for a while.
Which may factor into some of the anxiety that we saw in the pre-match interview. One of the players have had a bit of stress coming into this game.
A lot of talk about this, the seeding system, the ELO system, and everything like that. Listen to this route that ViCi had to play. If you even go back to the minor, North, Vitality, Cloud9, NRG, Fnatic, and Nip are all their opponents. That is a tough route to take for such an inexperienced underdog team.
That is fully legit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and when you listen to those names, it's pretty admirable how far they've been able to go. Oh, Advent gets caught out in the open just as that smoke clears. He didn't have the timing to get there safely, but man, they're crazy. Freeman jumps right through that smoke as well. Molotov going to force him forward. Off angle to try and prevent the cross back to the site. There's the jump, but Rez in the position. He's waiting for a follow-up peek. No need to take a risk, though. They already have a man advantage.
Rez going to boost, get right up. Just to watch the close angle while he pulls back to new box. See from the flyover that the crossfire has been established. That one good way of countering these positions, of course, would be a Molotov, would force Get Right out of position. They do have 1 remaining in the hands of Freeman. But to be fair, there's a lot of spots that you want to throw Molotovs onto when you aggress on B. It's not necessarily going to go where Get Right currently is. They could go to new boxes, could go to second boxes. Or even the fountain. So choose wisely. Freeman's going to go out without any grenades, though, to precede him. Finds the entry, nearly gets the double, but Rez is already doubled up, nearly triple. He actually dinks Orman down to 1 HP. Very unfortunate not to get the outright frag. Nicely tried, at least.
This is doable with the op, though. I don't think it's been spotted yet. Actually, yes, he's fired 2 shots. They know the op is there. That's why you see the safety turn in this corner. The flashbang doesn't blind the opper at all. That's a great kill. The flank has a big job to do. Here comes Lekro, he's dropped, and it's all on Dennis, he can do nothing. Kaze reigns supreme at distance. And ViCi have their 4th, they win the first gun round, and now this is looking good for the Chinese side.
I was a bit puzzled as to why Lekro didn't check construction there. He just ran straight past it, not checking any of the angles, but maybe he felt compelled and pressured to try and shut Kaze down at the back of the site. Take nothing away from ViCi. A phenomenal take in the end, and Rez was heroic. It wasn't quite enough to stave off the Asian team.
It's a huge kill for Freeman as well, jumping up on those first orange boxes to eliminate Get Right. That was a massive play. The entry they needed. Ooh, Lekro wanted to go back for more after the dink, and he stuck around just too long. Not even sure he would have been able to get away, and ViCi on point looking for the aggression from NIP. They found themselves 2 kills early in this round. Slapped aside some of the danger. NIP's on the back foot in this one. In this map so far.
Has to be spine-chilling. You're on your CT side, ViCi already up 5-0. You've had some very solid, healthy buys. And you've pretty much just been bulldozed. Had a couple of opportunities, but not really converted them. So for all of the confidence and the aggression that we saw on Train, it has been somewhat nullified at this stage. Get Right with a CZ has already expended a couple of the bullets, only 10 remaining in the magazine. And he's going to go for the reload as Rez tries to batten down the hatch. That's a solid 1D, looking for a second one, not able to connect it, and that's the round by and large done, barring a miraculous Forest clutch. He hasn't been tagged just yet, and both players are pretty low. This is actually in the realms of possibility. It's just got a whole lot more likely as Forest is playing ring around the rosy on the site, but Zoking is able to finally thread the headshot, and ViCi will continue their unbeaten run.
What a legend. Forest, I cannot believe he even made that into a doable situation from back in the bomb site, pinned down as well. 2 players know exactly where he is. A lot of credit goes to Rez as well. Huge kills as they come up lane. Some beautiful deagle shots. You could see just the danger of those things in the hands of those players. They can turn around quickly. Rez, 166 ADR, you can see. That's pretty wild.
Still losing, of course. Now Omen's like, you know how I feel, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say. Shoes on the other foot. Here we go. Fast take a banana, and ViCi's got control even with 3 players here, but Get Right wants to battle for it, and he's going to get 2 quick headshots. Half HP. Almost looks like he wants to go for more. The other legend of NIP puts them in a good position. Now they have 3 players still at the B bomb site. Lekro's going to start rotating back towards A, as is Get Right. But for the moment, Dennis and Forrest have to hold on, and they have utility to delay in these choke points.
ViCi have aggressed previously without throwing smokes or flashbangs. I'm curious if that will catch Nip off guard. Maybe one of the only keys to success. That's another one, though. Lekro has been plucked out. Dennis now is going to have to go huge with his AUG, and it's going to be onto Freeman. Alongside Advent in the end, Forrest and Dennis both chip in for kills in the first round for Nip. Breaking the curse of the 5 rounds that ViCi picked up.
Yeah, but that's not a bad situation so much for ViCi. Because you want NIP to be able to win a round here and there so that you can just respond immediately afterwards. Now, they won that round so convincingly, they have money to buy up behind this, but if you're ViCi, you're thinking, this is our opportunity to just win this half convincingly, is beat them here, low buy in the next round. If you win that, they're completely shattered in their economy, and all of a sudden, you can really build up this lead. A lot of ifs there, but the door just being cracked open, that opportunity just being barely presented is important for ViCi.
And Nip must know it. ViCi gonna put a lot of emphasis on this round, as you'd expect. Timeout. Deliberate over what's about to come up. What's the master plan? Forest deep in thought. Ninjas in Pyjamas off to a bit of a horror of a CT start. Lekro's having a bit of a rough game. He was pretty solid on train. Currently 0 kills and 23 ADR. Meanwhile, Rez is still fragging out alongside GetRight, who's on 106 ADR. And a lot of emphasis shown on Banana. 3 Molotovs, 3 smokes. Depleting that utility belt very quickly.
Oh, GetRight, this is risky. Completely blind at the moment inside the smoke. How is he going to play this? Going to re-smoke things? Oh, one missed timing from him and he could have gone down. That's a good start. Almost even spams Freeman through it. Does a little bit of chip damage onto him with that AUG. But GetRight 2 rounds in a row has resoundingly won the fight for Banana. And now NIP going to get aggressive. They know they forced them away. Now they want to crunch. This is a dangerous angle for Lekro. So close up, flashbang in, and didn't even look for the close player. Dennis gets him, thankfully, and now Boiler is the next point of aggression, and he's been spotted as well. NIP responding pretty much perfectly this whole time.
The bomb drop's absolutely brutal, though, for ViCi. They have to push through into this crossfire, into no man's land, just to retrieve the objective. And Kaze, the last man standing. To be honest, with their economy, probably just saves the AWP, gives them something to play with in round 8. Not many other options.
Well, there's that window of opportunity slammed shut by NIP. Well done from the Swedes. GetRight again with another double kill in a pretty important round. And yeah, this is the only option available. Save the AWP. The question is, what are you going to get around it? They don't have a lot of the losing bonus built up. It's going to be 2-round losing bonus. Perez can find this AWP. Important shot here for Kaze, and he nails it. He drills it. He gets to save the weapon. No bonus money for him, though. Which will hurt a little bit, because as you can see, right around 2K for the majority of his teammates. That would be a risky force-up if they wanted to go for Deagle armor, if they wanted to go for pistol armor with utility. I'm not sure that you can actually do that. And even more, you can't even fight for banana control with only the one AWP. You gotta hope he's gonna find a pick, but that's gonna be difficult in and of itself with all the smokes laid down in banana, all the Molotovs, smokes in that mid choke point as well. Gotta get hyper aggressive, and there's the flames to hold him back. Misses the shot, down to 70. Even Alman eating a nade.
And now the initial wave of aggression has been blockaded. The Ninjas move in. They will assume banana control. 3 players over here, don't need to have all 3, so that's why Lekro is piecing out, gonna move back to A site.
Pretty interesting that he passes the AWP over to Rez, though, instead of just staying himself. But as you mentioned, Untrained, pretty versatile team at Ninjas. We see a lot of their different players pick up the AWP. They can at least have this early warning system. There's the flashbang out. He's got a Molotov to slow them. They might go through it, but no, that's too much. And right through the half wall. Advent goes down.
Molotov to keep them at bay. AWP to smash them through the wall. And with 3 Glocks alongside the aforementioned AWP, so much of this round rests on Kaze's shoulders. 40 seconds left. Smoke's now being deployed off both teams. Rez able to mitigate the smoke on coffins pretty easily. Needs to be careful they don't boost up, though. That's what Zoking is looking for.
This is a pretty bold positioning for Rez, as they can jump up those boxes, and just as he disappears, he finds it. Nice flick.
Should be a complete massacre at this stage. 15 seconds. They have the AWP again, so maybe just another save.
Yeah.
Go away, see if you can save it.
It makes sense as well, because he can drop the AWP over. He'll get traded for an AK-47. They'll both be able to have armor and utility, unless NIP is able to hunt him down, but I don't think they're going to get here in time. And obviously also wanting to preserve their money, so nice fast decision from Freeman to just back away. I say that, but Kaze, because he saved the weapon in the previous round, only had 2,500, so he can actually only drop a UMP over to a teammate. So someone's getting the short end of the stick.
I think it was Orman. I think he's just been shafted there, mate.
They said, thanks for working so hard on train. Have this UMP.
We know you were the top fragger the entire game. Now, get the simple treatment. Get the UMP.
5-3 in the favor of ViCi, but it's been 3 in a row for NIP as they come back into this.
Nade's just a bit shallow, going on to logs. No one's there. ViCi instead were waiting for the grenades to explode so they could start to make a move up themselves. So this map so far has really been so heavily contested in Banana.
Which we see frequently, but look at all the utility that NIP used. They don't have much, and Get Right, he's not going to spam. He wants to go for logs. Oh, and he's got it. Does he stay aggressive? He's got spam from his teammate to force Advent back. That is nice from the Ninjas. Again, banana control. Heavily fought for by both teams, but NIP has now won it 3 in a row.
And pretty comfortably at that, whether we Get Right getting a kill or a bunch of nade damage. Dennis can hear footsteps to his right-hand side. The call will come through. Rez is starting to make a move. Decides better of it. Because with this much time, ViCi could still pull back and try and push Banana.
Huge kill for Kaze. If he can get it, he's completely blinded, though, and that makes Zoking go down easy. Good flashbang. Nice aggressive play for NIP. Dennis close up has the information. Allman jumping out. Has missed the timing on that as well. They're so low on HP, so low on time left in this round. And they're really struggling when NIP hasn't given them any picks to work with. They're struggling to find opening kills in these 5-on-5s. It might be time for them to pick around and just not even attempt for banana control because they're losing it so convincingly recently. Maybe try and take advantage of the fact that NIP is sending 3 players there at the beginning of every round. Try and go towards A where you have a 5-on-2 early on. 113 ADR for Get Right, 124 for Rez.
Here's Forrest cleaning up onto short side. Yeah, I completely agree. I think ViCi do need to change pace, need to do something differently. Now they only have pistols. Maybe this is the moment where they at least attempt it. Have 3 smokes to play with, a few flashbangs. The bulk of the aggression is coming up second mid. So Banana's not really going to be contested this time.
Which is fine. They just need to do it in a gun round. I mean, you can see how much utility NIP is using at the start of these rounds, and, you know, if no one's actually contesting Banana, essentially just wasting it. They've gone a little bit slow, worried about that smoke in mid, which has allowed a third player in Lekro to get over. That's another great nade. Utility damage for a NIP in this game so far has been off the charts. Rap side is where ViCi went ahead. It's also where NIP want to head for defense.
Get Right has been flashed out of position, gonna get charged down, but elsewhere the Swedes are pretty much taking control of the round. Forrest spray onto one, and a second bomb's been dropped. Round over.
That was nice, though. That at least showed some promise. Able to get some damage done. Remember, there were 3 players from NIP guarding Rap side, so the fact they're able to get 2 kills out of it is pretty nice. So much money for NIP has been built up, though. They didn't take a whole lot of losses in some of those round wins. Get Right and Forrest are sitting at about 13K each before Get Right bought.
Solid comeback as well. ViCi off to a 5-0 lead early on. It was starting to look a bit rough for NIP. Like, this could get out of control. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. Haven't really contested Banana this time in a rifle round. Let's see if it works out for them, though.
They need to beat that timing of the rotation. At the moment, they still have it. The Molotov clears. Smoke comes down, though. The question is, are they bold enough to go through it?
The answer seems to be a no, but now Flashbang's going to start to detonate as Forrest eradicates 2. Double headshot, make it a 3rd. Tripling up. Meanwhile, Get Right's pushing down Banana. ViCi have been caught in a NIP sandwich. And they are going to be destroyed. There is no 2 ways about this. Freeman and Kaze living on borrowed time. As soon as that smoke clears, Kaze's in a world of hurt.
We'll go for the ace for us. Get aggressive. There's 1, there's 4, there's 5, and it's beautiful. Precision, all 5 kills, tapping away. Another ace for IEM Katowice. I feel like this has got to be the... there's been so many aces, I feel, in this event so far.
Yeah, we've had a bunch. It's the first that I can remember from Forrest, at least. But what a time to land this as well. 5-5, so much on the line. Super huge injection of confidence, too, into NIP when one of your veterans is performing like that.
It's the way that, like, that 5th kill to complete the ace is just like the exclamation point. It's just a little one tap. This time they're going to run right through it. Had a Molotov ready for, or a smoke ready for the NIP Molotov, and even that doesn't work.
Back to mid they'll move, but that's into the hands of Dennis. I say that, but they've cut those hands well and truly off, looking to punish the rest of the ninjas in the process. Forest has to relocate. And of course, it's headshots delivered all day from Forest. Orman should be able to get a bomb plant at the very least. Not bad considering the lack of investment that ViCi had coming into this round. Does also have an AK with some Kevlar. Maybe this can be a miraculous play now from ViCi. They're going to turn this back around, but no. Get Right holds the line.
Why is Forest so good? Handling that situation pretty well. 2 kills for him, 2 for Get Right. Get Right's now up to 10 kills. 3 kills in a bomb plant, though. ViCi's going to be happy with that one. I mean, they just can't find any opening kills is the real issue. Over towards Banana, this time they had all the counters ready, smoke ready for the Molotov. Able to get through it and actually pressure towards top Banana, but some great shots from NIP giving the first 2 kills.
Why is Forrest so good? Probably a question many of his opponents have been asking themselves over the last decade plus, as he's been rattling their heads.
I played against him back in the day. Back in 2003. Ripped my head off a number of times. It's good fun. Here we go. Lekro with the op, peeks in front of the smoke. Pre-thrown to stop the Molotov.
It does seem like ViCi don't really have a plan B now, though. Now that Banana's just not worked, they've tried going A.
Yeah.
It's a bit of indecision, bit of stalling in mid.
I mean, someone's going to have to step up and just get an entry kill. No matter what strategy they've tried to run, they haven't gotten an entry kill, it feels like, since like round 5, the last round they won. The nice thing about the fact that they were so successful and went on that 5-0 run to start this map is that, you know, sometimes 5 rounds can be enough on your T side. So, yeah, this would be a disaster if they can't add anything onto it in the last 10 rounds of the half. But they can still work with it, at the very least.
I think momentum-wise, though, it will definitely be a kick in the backside because of the 5-0 lead they had. Could have been something truly special.
They just need to win one more round to, like, break up this win streak of NIP. It never feels good. If they lose 10 in a row, that's going to feel absolutely awful. Get Right's going to play right behind this smoke. Flashbangs would go past him, and he's got an easy first, an easy second, and an easy third.
That's so sick. Just so unbelievably sick. To have the balls to pull off that play and read that. He's been there so many times. That's where the experience really shines through from Get Right. And in doing so, this round is pretty much laid to rest. Unless Freeman can continue his aggression, they may get a chance to get to the bomb site here. And Kaze does actually have it in his hand, so this plant's going to go down. Somehow from that 3K, this is now a 2-on-2 retake.
Yeah, it's a mistake by Lekro, feeling well overconfident. Going for that second peak with time so low, just had to play passive, and the fact they've given an op over as well. Smoking that choke point actually helps Nip close the gap, and Forrest gonna go for a heads-up duel with that AK. He's dropped by Freeman close up. That would have been a big kill to have. No utility for Dennis. Looking for this one frag on the Opper, who's just trying to distract. Kazai's playing it well. No peek, and a double kill for Dennis. NIP continue to reign supreme, and the Chinese have completely stalled out.
I think Get Right just breathed a huge sigh of relief. Like, guys, how have I got a 3K? We nearly lost that round.
He's like, thank you, Dennis, for my RWS.
Meanwhile, ViCi will be devastated because that was a real chance, a real glimmer of hope to get back in this half, to start to get some rounds put together. And Dennis has had a bit of a quiet tournament, I think it's safe to say. That's one of the best plays we've seen him pull off.
I don't know if struggle is the right word, but it does feel like he's been subdued since he joined the Snip lineup. There was a lot of excitement. He was so good when he was in Fnatic, and something on the Snip team doesn't seem to be playing comfortable. Well, there we go. If there's ever a time for ViCi to break this 8-round streak for NIP, it's when they're able to get the opening pick with that ult. They must convert this. They have not had these chances too often. And Almond's going to build onto Force. Now he's in pit. Lekro, no idea quite yet. Immediate dink. That'll make him passive. The nade should finish him off. A peek from the AK. There it is, but they're already up lane. Kaze has the angle. Oh, that's the bomb. Oh, no. Vince, this could turn, but Get Right's not ready for the peek from balcony. There it is. Kaze, it's the op, though. He must get this kill. There we go through the smoke. Just barely, ViCi.
So fortunate they had so much time left. If that was sort of 20, 30 seconds left, I think the round was done. Get right, nearly. Once again, coming out massive with a clutch play. Instead, though, going through into the final round of the half, it's 8-6. It doesn't feel like it should be 8-6 because of how dominant NiP have been in this second quarter of the game. But ViCi have actually had a pretty decent tee-off overall.
You can't argue with it. As I said, 6 is going to be... 6 is very doable. And obviously the big thing is, no matter how many rounds you get, if you lose 10 rounds in a row, you're just going to feel like you lost the half. Even though 5 would be good, but... Here we go, ViCi trying to add on to it, and they're going to beat this rotation on Rap side as well. Almond's there to cut it off, but Lekro's already gotten past.
Made noise with a Molotov, but he's nearly able to double up with his arch play. Forest, last beacon of hope, last line of defense. He has been so many times in the past, but some dink damage was done from Kaze on his way out. Another 2-on-2 retake. We've had so many of these in the best of 3 already. Most of them have gone the way of NiP, and this one may as well. Rez comes out, spraying, but Get Right is going to be bested in the end. The last kill of the half will go the way of ViCi, as will the last round.
A very nice T-half from ViCi Gaming. For the Ninjas, it's the 2 legends who have stepped up. 17 kills for Forest, 15 for Get Right. They'll have to continue that in the second half if they want a chance of beating ViCi 2-0. Stay with us. Despite a solid defense for NIP through the stretch, ViCi does just enough. Starts out with a 5-0 run, gets the last 2 rounds of the half, but it was an 8-0 run for the Ninjas on their CT side that keeps them in contention. And despite that dominance for such a large part of the first half, you have to feel like ViCi, they've done more than enough on that T side.
Maybe even arguably slightly ahead, considering that NIP are now going through to the T side. And this is a side that ViCi typically are pretty damn solid on. So You've got to wonder what's going to happen. This pistol's hugely important.
Yeah, but you know what can change all that is the fact that Forrest looks like he's on fire. 17 and 8 in the first half for Forrest, 15 and 9 for Get Right.
We see there a stat: 17 kills, 8 deaths, 106 ADR. Get Right's the only player that is besting him in terms of ADR at 114. They've both had their moments in the spotlight. And they are poised, ready to strike onto the A side of the map. The bomb under control from Lekro, who will be the last player in, looking to use his smoke and flashbang. Teeing them up right now, and it looks like it's going to be a wraparound. Meanwhile, Rez is in banana, so this would suggest it could be a B split. Kaze, that smoke's actually not going to bother him too much, but he does get a bit of damage done. Can't kill anybody on the approach, though. So now the Ninjas in prime position to get on this B side. It's all going to be down to Advent, all going to be down to Allman. Rez has been plucked out, so now it's going to be very one-dimensional. They can't afford to wrap around with Rez any longer, and Advent is doing a phenomenal job holding the line against Get Right. This round is starting to get out of control for Nip. This is backfired significantly. Dennis is going to get caught as he tries to pull back onto the A side of the map. Frost has landed himself one headshot. It's a chaotic round. All kinds of action happening across the board. But ViCi do have the player advantage. Make it 2, and Zoking goes in for the final frags. Just consistent bloodshed being spilled, but it's going to be ViCi that hold on.
ViCi was playing so passive in both of those bomb sites. NIP could never close the gap. Obviously, it feels like an advantage, but a pretty smart decision from this aggression right here to take out Rez first. That eliminates one side of this attack, and when you have 2 USPs and then the rotators also focusing on CT spawn, a smoke blocking them off as well, they got to come through that to fight. That hit from NIP just got so disjointed. Both pistol rounds going in the favor of ViCi in this game, which is a phenomenal recipe to take us to a third map.
Mirage, of course, the third map if we need it. Some damage done to Lekro early doors. Pretty passive setup from the Ninjas in Pyjamas in case ViCi went for an aggressive play. This is something we did see them do when we last casted them. They were very aggressive pushing down mid. This no respect style of play. So perhaps the Ninjas have done their homework. In the meanwhile though, in terms of round 17, it looks like it's only going to go one way.
We've thought that before with NIP. They've done some crazy things on rounds like this. Kaze's just going to go peek. He's going to get... Oh, this is... Oh! Oh, dear.
All the emotions in 1 second.
Oh.
From excitement to just pure disappointment.
Oh, no, not like this.
What a turnaround this would be. The downside is that Nip don't really have anything to subside these weapons that they've picked up, but they do have the player advantage still. Orban with his Molotov. They're trying to stop the bomb from being planted default, but it's not. It's back on the site in a safe position. Lekro could get the drop onto Advent, did chunk him down for half of his health. There's now a Deagle in play for Forest, and meanwhile on the site and an MP9 sprays across, lands a headshot onto Advent, and this could be all she wrote for ViCi in the round, but it's going to be the spray holding on for Orman. He gets 2 with a kit. He's going to get the defuse, but ViCi are so fortunate to get away with that.
Yeah, they really are. I don't know how that actually really happened. That should have been 3 for Kaze, you'd imagine. He thought he got that first kill immediately with a headshot, but it's not to be. So they survive a close one, but I mean, that's actually a pretty big disaster, all things considered. That takes so much money away. Great shots from Get right there, that P250. That range, even had a great chance with an M4 in the one-on-one. So, 9-8, ViCi have a very narrow lead, but they're hurting. SMGs, no money behind this buy. They do have an op on Kaze. Full AKs, full utility for the Ninjas. And much different, they don't spend a whole lot of utility trying to challenge any kind of banana play from ViCi. They stay out of it to start. Might be a delayed take once the smoke clears. Hall's stack for ViCi, 2 players on the stairs.
Ooh, that nade.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And Molotovs, so they're going to be forced out of position anyway. They don't get anything for that stack apart from damage. Not a fair trade.
Importantly as well, they're forced to take fights at range as they sneak back to the pit. And against those AK-47s, could be deadly. Next step for NIP, you can see systematically taking map control. First in halls. Oh! Kaze catches Force in a jump.
Oh no, are they over-rotating? No, they're sending another player over there. This is just going to leave Zoking with an MP9 and Freeman. Kaze needs to get back across here. The bomb is dropped in mid. Bit of a saving grace, so they're not going to get punished for that rotation. Now Rare's going to pick it up and start to move towards A. They're running out of time. They have to hit the A site, and it has to be now. There's still some smokes and flashbangs. If NiP decide to use them, Kaze is going to go for another peek. Will the timing be on his side? Yes, it will. He's having a phenomenal round here. But again, Rez and Dennis are going to try their best to get back into this one. It's going to be a bomb plant for Rez. And now it's all about the retake. He's got enough time. Neither of the ViCi players can stop him. There is a smoke enough to choke on, intoxicating. He has to move out, and that's going to be to Omen's benefit and ViCi's, as they will get a 10-8 lead.
I don't think that smoke went exactly where he wanted it. He had to come out of the smoke, had no vision, no idea where people were coming from once he got the bomb down. That double pit setup is exactly what wanted for ViCi. That's a tough setup to break, and it just cost too many lives. Obviously, Kaze as well, getting that pick onto Lekro, who's throwing flashbangs for his teammates from mid. Not bad at all. We know he doesn't, as an operator, he doesn't like to sit back. When he sees that there's going to be attack, I mean, that's a disgusting shot, first of all. But when he sees and executes coming, he wants to take a more aggressive angle.
It's especially disgusting because it's pure reaction speed. There was nothing to precede that peak. Just a full-on flick. Didn't get any information. This round, though, Kaze is going to be punished for his aggression, down to 50.
If NIP, I mean, they've done a great job of damaging ViCi and getting kills. They haven't been able to just turn around yet. It's 3-0 in this half for ViCi. You can see they don't have a lot of money. Advent is clean out. He's broke. Freeman is very low. Kaze very low. NIP need to just win one to have some kind of an economic advantage in this game. That's when the T side gets a bit easier. You can open up the playbook. There's not as many Molotovs and smokes in the early stages that are going to slow you down and block you off. No flashbangs for NiP. 2 smokes left. Thankfully, Kaze with the AWP is over towards the B bomb site, so they don't have to worry about a heads-up fight against an op.
Meanwhile, ViCi have a healthy dose of nades. Plenty of them across the board. Flashbangs, a Molotov, couple of smokes. So entry is going to need to be the order of the day. Omen has been demolished down to 13. Lucky not to be neutralized. 30 seconds left. Rez still in banana. They're going to send 2 players back and 2 players through Arch. That kill onto Omen is massively important for Ninjas and Pyjamas. And now again, it rests on Advent, and this time Kaze, he spots the first player. Going to have a shot through the smoke following the trace of fire. And here comes the rotation round the back. Kaze is holding on for dear life. And crazy Kaze is creating carnage wherever he moves. No one is left standing for Ninjas and Pyjamas, and ViCi are going to win another one. This CT side is looking brutal for NiP.
Yeah, that is so nice from Kaze. Obviously, the shots are a thing of beauty. That's twice now. That round and the pistol round that NIP have run a B split. And look at that deep smoke that ViCi is throwing. They had one left over so late, and it's making it very, very difficult for NIP when they run that tactic to actually get clean shots into the site. Even if it wasn't there, the op would still, you'd imagine, reign supreme. Kaze had some very, very nice shots, and NIP looks stumped on this T side. This looks like it's just... The roles have been reversed from Train, where NiP is getting blanked on their offense. ViCi on Train, 0 rounds on their T side. NIP on Inferno, so far, 0 rounds, and it's an 11-8 lead for ViCi.
NiP are trying different things. They're trying to be adaptive, but ViCi are just there every step of the way. And of course, it's going to help when your Opera is teeing off with 108 ADR and doesn't seem to be missing a shot.
Yeah, he's a big part of the reason why ViCi is in this lead and is holding on. There have been some harrowing rounds where ViCi was so close to getting reset. Now, these CZs, this could be so dangerous. No one in pit for ViCi. 2 players in the site, 1 on small pit. If they make a single mistake, they're in trouble. Smoke hasn't plumed yet to block smoke, or to block small pit. There's Freeman, bombs down. He's continuing the damage, but the stack gets busted quickly. And Kaze, he's going to get aggressive. Is he a madman? Look at this play. He's the only defender here that do spot him. Now he's got to be forced away, but it's too late.
Maybe confidence turning into hubris. And he is going to be punished in the worst possible way with a potential round loss. So Ninjas on one of their worst buys of the half should be successful. Advent is still alive. But in terms of their finances, I mean, surely in a 1v3 you save. He's got $1,000 left. His teammates really need him to drop a weapon if they're going to have a buy in this next one. And that's still up in the air, actually. They may not go for it.
Yeah, now the half begins. This is where it really starts. ViCi's going to be hurting for money. Kaze, you have to think, if he has the cash, he's going to get that AWP. I think he'll be just shy, though. Be really interesting, the decision-making of ViCi in this next round. They have 3 timeouts they can use if they want to talk things over. NIP still has 4. And yeah, Kaze, just $50 off that AWP. So close, yet so far, Vince.
And that's the culmination of NIP consistently whittling away weapons here and there over the previous rounds. Yes, they haven't won before in 4 rounds, but they've been doing significant damage. Got a couple of close calls, a couple of close clutches.
I think... I don't know what ViCi's going to do here. I would imagine that they would maybe a half buy. They don't have really a whole lot they can get. This is a timeout called by NIP. They know the importance of stringing 2 together in this scenario. So Kaze is going to get a shotgun. Advent has the AUG he's saved, and it's pistols for the other 3. They are getting some utility to play with to try and slow things down, try and deal some utility damage. A couple nades in there. This would be absolutely brilliant if ViCi could pull this off, but I think this is the smart call to make. You're on the easier side. You have the advantage on the CT side of Inferno. Don't risk everything in a half buy or in a buy where you can't have the nades, while NIP are still 2 rounds behind.
I think it also shows a bit of confidence too, that they know, sure, things aren't going great right now, but up until this point, they've been pretty dominant. So even if they lose this round, they can bounce back. It doesn't feel like desperation.
No, yeah, confidence is a great word. Forest taking banana control. I haven't seen NIP really attack that B bomb site outside of the splits. Haven't really seen them send a whole mass of players up banana quite yet for the typical executes we see. All quiet on the map.
Silence almost deafening on Inferno, but now some smokes are going to be traded between the 2 teams, blocking off mid. 3 smokes currently there, so NIP have used 2 and not really made any inroads, but they have drawn out what little utility ViCi have. Oh, if Get Right had landed that second shot, I would have lost my mind.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good play. I mean, obviously it's great to get that 1 kill in towards lane, but the fact that you fall immediately afterwards, you now give it an AK-47 over to Zoking, who's starting to cheat towards the B bomb site. He's reading what's coming. If they lose too many players on this, great counter flash. That's a thing of beauty. There's no smoke for CT spawn. Now they throw one late. Zoking is on the way over, but here's the AUG underneath the smoke. NIP can't see, but Advent can see just fine. It's Forrest in a 1-on-3. He better pull up a miracle. There's no time to play around, and Advent is stalling him even further. Forrest is surely going to go down. He can't get the plant, and he's out of bullets now. It's all over, and Forrest must survive.
Freeman on the hunt. Does get the kill to add salt in the wounds, and NIP lose to a Mag 7 and an AUG. Oh dear.
That one hurts. Forrest still has money to buy, but that is a great turnaround. I cannot believe ViCi have pulled that off. That smoke at the front of the bomb site above those stairs just turned into the dagger for NIP. This all can see underneath it. When they turn, you can tell they just have no idea where they're getting shot at. He can just see the ankles.
And when you've got a fully automatic gun with a scope and very low recoil, that's all you need. And just spam straight through the smoke. Only 15 seconds when that play started too. Forrest, to make matters worse, in round 22, after NIP do muster a buy, has been tagged down to 40 almost instantly. And he's been their main man, 25 and 13.
This map will get exponentially more difficult for the Swedes if they lose this round. They are out of money.
And their one round came off the back of a straight-up pistol rush. That is going to be a concern. ViCi in the meanwhile have their star player, Kaze. Very impressive in this map.
He's been spectacular. They're close up, close to the smoke. Dennis wants to surprise him and come through it. Smoke gonna block him off, and he finds one. He saw a glimpse of force, a shadow perhaps, and there's a great peek in lane. Zoking underneath porch. He's gonna come back to help his teammate. Actually, he's gonna come help Small Pit, but Rez backstabs him. Dennis with one as well. Freeman, they know his location in pit. This is going to be tough, though. 2 players and Arches. Good kill from Dennis coming through the smoke. That's the bomb as well. 20 seconds on the clock. Dennis reloading is dropped. Now Get Right. It's all on him, and he's got to hustle.
He can't afford to mess about. He's just got to get straight in there. The Molotov is down. Get Right does have a smoke, but he's actually going to use that just to pick the bomb up. 8 seconds left. I don't think he realizes it. He's not going to have enough time.
I don't think there was much. Yeah, I mean, maybe didn't realize it quite at the moment. He would have had to have just picked up the bomb and run back. NIP, that's crushing. 13-9, a 4-round lead for ViCi, and that says it all.
Yeah, that expression really does tell you the anguish that NIP are facing right now. It's going to be on to a very poor force buy. And a 4-round deficit. ViCi eyeing up Mirage. Here comes a tactical timeout. It's from ViCi, not NIP.
I don't mind that, because remember, I mean, despite the fact that NIP lost that, throughout this entire terrorist half, NIP's been so close to resetting them a number of times, and they still have it here. 4 kills in a losing effort. They've taken the AWP away from Kaze. They don't have to worry about that in this round. This is a little bit of a lifeline extended to NIP if they can just close this round, but they're going to have to do it with pretty diminished weaponry. UMP on Dennis and Rez. Pistols on Forrest and Lekro, but they know this is their best opportunity. Even with a weaker buy, the best chance they have is resetting ViCi, so they have to take this risk.
Also deciding not really to flirt with the idea of banana. Hasn't really been working out for NIP. Gonna make a move into apps. No one home for ViCi. They're triple stacking quad side. They actually have a player on top and below quad.
Go back to what worked before, Vince. Here we go. Kaze is going to get the first with the AUG, and the second holds down the trigger. Great defense from ViCi.
Who else but Kaze?
Yeah, he's been spectacular. He's been the point man, hasn't he, on this defense? Usually with the AWP, this time with the AUG. That might be the end of NIP and Inferno. I think we might be going to Mirage, Vince.
It's certainly looking likely, Moses, because, as you say, NIP don't have any kind of economy. They've only won 1 round on this T side. It was with pistols. Every rifle round has gone against them.
Pretty astounding. A couple very close calls that very easily could have turned in the favor of the Ninjas. Just not to be so far. Half buy in this round. That's a good start from Lekro. That's a way to take Kaze out of the fight. Freeman's making sure they can't pick up the AWP. But okay. An element of danger is introduced.
And again, with pistols. There's something about NIP and pistols. Maybe that's where the magic stems from. In the meanwhile, Zoking. Ooh, I thought he was going to get peeked for a second there as he pulled his grenade out. Ooh, beautiful reaction speed just to chop off the head of Forrest. Triple spray. Going to make amends for Kaze's death early on. And now, Get Right and Lekro have done a lot of damage to Orman. That's going to make him think twice about re-peeking.
He's got the AWP. He can just hold his angle. Get Right's probably a little frustrated he didn't get that kill. It was an immediate dink, but couldn't find the follow-up shot. Freeman's at least pulled away from the bomb site, so Lane for the moment is susceptible.
Lekro's been able to pick up an M4 alongside his Kevlar, and he is fully healthy. There's a bit of time to play with. So Advent needs to stay on B site. Now the Molotov is going to land in pit. It draws one player out. Lekr0 is able to get the Avenger frag. Quickly switches across to the low Omen. And what an important round this is. Advent making a move through arches. Only has a UMP. But there is no head armor for Lekr0. One bullet could seal it up. And meanwhile, Lekr0, surgical precision, but he decides against it. He's not sure as to where Advent is coming from. And this indecision, this lack of information could cost him dearly, but Lekr0 is going to get the clutch with a 4K, and the ninjas in Pyjamas aren't done yet.
Lekr0 with 4 kills, the opening on Katowice cannot understate how important that performance is in that individual round for him, but shout out to GetRight, 2 assists on the kills that allow him to get into the bomb site and plant safely. 2 dinks onto those players that Lekr0 is able to clean up. 10-14. Again, another chance for NIP right here. This is the one GetRight gets that entry dink, and he had that one earlier on Rap side. Lekr0 finds the timing, thought he was going to be wrapping around and then commits to a fight. Another chance for NIP, and look at the money once again for ViCi. If NIP, they've just struggled so much to win these rounds, if they can just do it once.
And again, Forrest gets wrecked early on in the round, this time down to 23.
Yeah, he's not having a good time, is he?
It feels like he hasn't had a kill in a good 4 or 5 rounds at this stage.
Yeah, he seems to have gotten stuck on 25. Still leading the server by 4, 21 on Katowice, 20 on GetRight.
Well, it seems their attention is going to be turned to the B side this time around, looking to commence a set play, but Advent is waiting for the pop flash. Oh, wait, that's actually a smoke, not a flash.
Just delaying, and I actually kind of like this call from NIP. They are grouped up a little bit early before this hit. They have to wait for that smoke, but like I said earlier, we've only seen B splits attempted by NIP. They haven't tried to actually attack this bomb site with a set piece. We're going to get one here. Smokes, Molotov starting to rain over the walls. Another smoke is dropped down, but Alman only has a pistol. He's completely blind. There's the opening kill. Rez not able to follow it up. Great trade from GetRight. And NIP have cracked open the site.
They have, and ViCi can't afford to go for it, so they're going to save. I think maybe one of the reasons why NIP haven't gone too hard on this is because when ViCi played Cloud9 on Inferno, they absolutely manhandled them on B side. It was Omen and Advent with Orcs. They were destroying them every single time. So maybe a bit of respect, but now NIP realize they've got to change things up.
Well, and also, I mean, probably just sick and tired of getting picked off by Katowice.
Sure. That's definitely part of it.
Like, can we just do a strategy where there's not an op facing off against us? That'd be great.
I wonder if Katowice, the next time he does get an op, if he will, well, he's going to keep the op. If he does hold on to it, which looks likely, if he tries to peek Banana next round, I wonder if he's going to have some B presence and try and deal with that.
Would be interesting. Could change the nature of the round. 11th for NIP as they are attempting one last time for a comeback. 3 weapons saved. No rifles can be passed over to Alman and Advent. GetRight, known as a lurker, you could see there. Great job in the opening duels in this game so far. 6 for 7.
I think that also shows how poor some of the entry fragging has been from NIP, that it's typically been the lurker of GetRight that's been getting the kills from the side first off. So it hasn't really been working out for them. This time you can see ViCi. They are not interested in any shenanigans. Triple Molotov.
It's a pit of fire, but look at the read by NIP. They've called a perfect counter. This is a great call from Lekr0. Zoking, he's up, he's committed, and he's down. Down for the fight. Does NIP press the issue is the question. One defender here. It's Freeman in lane. They cannot let him get away. They had the opportunity. Now he's spun. He's turned, and it's Rez to go for an attempt. Here come the UMPs, though. They're close on their heels. 1 kill for Advent, and he's going to press the issue. Wisely backs off. It's a 3-on-3.
Waiting for his teammates to get in position, didn't want to run out, get killed, and then no likelihood would be a retake and a 2-on-3 stacked against ViCi. Forrest is also waiting around the side. Vintage Forrest with a double, and that should be the round sealed up as a result. Katowice with an AWP can do nothing but walk away. And we were asking the question, will Katowice go B? He did, and NIP called their bluff.
That was perfect play calling from Lekr0. Finally, they had success at the B bomb site, and ViCi said, well, they struggled so much Likely they attack the same bomb site they just won at. And that's exactly what we were talking about in the first half that we wanted to see ViCi do. That was a 3-man stack at the B bomb site early on to get the utility down, to make sure they're safe and would have banana control. And NIP found a great timing coming up mid.
So the plot thickens. ViCi still have 2 timeouts available. Do they dip in? Do they call one yet? Do they wait for the next round?
I would imagine they'd wait for the next round when they're going to have money to buy. All they have is the AWP on Kaze. Good kill from Rez. These 2 defenders at the A bomb site not synced up, not working together, and that was the final nail in the coffin, the double from Forest. So an AWP and pistols, a P250 and a Deagle. 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, and Kaze is going to get aggressive, wants to try and find that opening pick down mid. It's not to be. But ViCi's stacking the A bomb site. And this is, I like this call. Get players close to the AWP that you have so you can try and bring that into the next round. If they go B, you don't have to go for it. You just protect the AWP. You make sure NIP doesn't hunt them down.
Remember, in a similar buy to this, I believe it was an Organomag 7, Nip slipped and slided out of the round. And there's King, just aggression. Ruthless aggression up in the face. Get right's been tagged and fragged by Orman. Not again, Nip. Surely not.
They have to go for this. They have to hit this bomb site quickly. It's Freeman. And it's Advent. They only have pistols. One's a Deagle, one's a USP. Good adjustment from Rez. He got tagged up a little bit, but now the Deagle right behind Coffins. He could see through that smoke. Good spam from Rez. A 2-on-3. And I'm wondering if ViCi's going to commit to this. These weapons could be valuable for the next round. They're at least going to see if they can find a kill.
If they don't get a kill soon, I think they're going to back away. But Kaze's posted up in a pretty aggressive position here. He may not have the opportunity to escape. And Lekro will punish him, and that's an important gun that's taken off the table. Omen actually decides to go in for this. Dude, get the hell out of there. What are you doing?
Back away slowly. It's not the biggest loss in the world at AWP. The 4-round losing bonus they're going to have, they'll be able to pick up another AWP if they want that. Might hurt the utility and the armor they can bring forward, but they'll still have an AWP. NIP somehow making this work, bringing out the magic at the last moment. They've won the last 4 rounds. 1 round away from tying things up. A narrow lead, 14-13. ViCi fighting for their lives at IEM Katowice. NIP fighting to get legend status, or excuse me, to get to the new legend stage.
So much on the line. Heartbreak after heartbreak for Nip in recent majors. This would be somewhat redemption.
What a fitting way to be fighting if you're a Nip as well. Forrest and Get Right leading the way for you.
But can they keep it going? Because ViCi still have the advantage. It is slim. A small margin, a slither. But they are closer to the finish line here on Inferno. Banana well and truly boiled by Molotovs. No one is able to make a move through there just yet with smokes in the eyes of Nip. But ViCi pretty passive. They're not peeking it. And Kaze's not over on that side of the map just yet.
Very slow paced in this round. NIP being careful not to lose anything early on. Kaze on Rap side, just in arches. That smoke is going to give him a little bit of safety to move up and grab a new angle. NIP's got to be careful. Running out of utility slowly. 3 smokes. 4 flashbangs, using a couple here. Oh, he comes through it. It's an easy kill onto Forrest. That's a big piece of the NIP puzzle, but it's traded right back. King gets aggressive, and that smoke comes up just in time. Get Right might have had the angle. There's the op. Get Right's the one leading the way. The rest of his team isn't in position. They now know one's on balcony. 20 seconds. They cannot turn back.
Kaze is close range. The flick across the Dennis is going to be good. And now 15 seconds remain. Rez is being tagged up from balcony. Lekro goes in for 1, but there is Kaze with another 3K. 2 map points for ViCi.
That one's tough. That hit got so disjointed, that opening pick from Kaze. Get Right coming through the smoke first to lead the way on that attack. No one to distract the balcony player, and it's an easy kill as Get Right comes through. 15-13. NIP need to win 2 in a row to force overtime. ViCi on the verge of taking us to a third map. It would be Mirage if they can get there. A 4-round run for NIP just gets stopped cold.
And to put it in context, if it does go to overtime, this is where ViCi lost to Vitality, and I think it was triple overtime, 25-22 they lost. And we had the pleasure of casting that game, Moses.
I was going to say, I vaguely remember going to triple overtime.
That was ViCi. So, we know they've got a bit of experience. They did lose that time around, but of course, NIP have got to get to overtime first, which is a lot easier said than done, especially how ViCi are playing.
Bomb is still down at the base of the mid-ramp, so NIP's not going to commit anything off of this. They just want to get control of top banana. Apply a little bit of pressure. Advent and Almond both have smokes. Advent still has a Molotov. NIP haven't been able to force that away. If they get lured into a B hit here, which it looks like, there's so many resources for ViCi to stop this. They're going to go right through that before the Molotov can hit the ground. Advent, he only gets one. Almond's in trouble. Oh, that's a great adjustment. Now he's got to back away, but he can't do it in time.
Yeah, he was stuck. I think he realized it's why he stood his ground, see if he could take another player with him. It will be a 3-on-3 retake, but there is a Molotov in the hands of Freeman. All 3 of NIP players are injured at this stage, hemorrhaging blood. And ViCi can sense it.
There's a Molotov on Get Right.
Also a flashbang for Rez. Molotov's been tossed out. It actually gets extinguished in the CT smoke. That could have been used on the coffin side where Rez is residing, and he was spoiled for choice. 2 plays there. Get Right partially flashed up, still gets a kill, and in amongst it, Dennis has also gone down. ViCi are going to secure map 2. We're heading to Mirage.
That is a stellar response from ViCi gaming on Inferno. They picked it for a reason. A lockdown defense, a 7-1 run to start this second half. And even a valiant comeback from NIP gets stopped short. Beautiful performance from Kaze in this map. Zoking and Freeman joined him up there with 20 kills each. We're going to a Mirage. Stay tuned.
Both teams having the toughest team talk yet. Just one map now determines the fate of two teams here in our final day of the Challenger stage. 3 spots, 6 teams. NIP and ViCi now clash on Mirage. But first, we have to reflect on Inferno. ViCi managed to take us all 3. Our analysts weren't certain it was going to happen. And now, to explain themselves, Pimp and Sean Gares. Starting with you on the end there, Sean. I mean, This was what we hoped for. I mean, the fact that there is resistance being put up. But is this ViCi playing well, or have the Ninjas lost their flair?
I think it's more a little bit of both. ViCi obviously got lucky by winning both pistols and first gun rounds. They needed that in that first half, right? That 5-0 start. Without that, I mean, NIP, I think, rattled off 8 straight gun rounds, actually, right there. So 8 straight gun rounds. If they would have won that first gun round, which they actually had the opening pick in, that match could have gone very differently.
ViCi getting 7 rounds. T-side Inferno. Big part of it was that strong start you asked for in the pre-match, Sean. Jacob.
Definitely, and they were able to put pressure on NIP. And as Sean said as well, despite NIP coming out and once again having a clear game plan of what they wanted to do in the CT side, ViCi was able to move around that and actually secure some rounds. Again, NIP, I don't feel they played bad at all during that start. It was just ViCi playing some of the solid Counter-Strike we've seen them play so far in the tournament.
Yeah, I have to once again. I feel like it's going to become a bit of a repetition here, but Kaze's impressing me. Some of the things he was getting away with on that AWP. In fact, at one point, I heard someone shout, "Where was this on Train?" You asked for it, you didn't get it, Sean.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see more of what we just saw in Inferno on Train because he was unstoppable. At the Arch side, he was playing super aggressively, peeking into middle. We saw him from that new box position at B, holding the spawn split. Yeah. He was all over the place, hitting whip shots and banana. I don't know what this guy wasn't doing because he was doing everything for them.
And something that we were seeing as well, something you're going to be telestrating for us, you told me that there was a bit of a taste of their own medicine, ViCi felt.
Taste of their own medicine, because Sean brought it up in the pregame, and I'm glad he did, the banana control. We always talk about it when it's Inferno, so here's a showcase of how NIP took the banana control early in the game. Now, you have the minimap loaded up on your screens right now. What you're going to see transpire in a second when I play the clip is this semi-aggressive smoke you were talking about down to the barrel. So if we play out the clip, you can see NIP going 3-man towards the B bomb site, making that semi-aggressive smoke. And what it looks like, if you take an overview here, is that semi-aggressive smoke right here on your screen now. As soon as that disappears, a deep smoke comes down from NIP. They're going to catch Advent, who's sort of caught in the middle. He's trying to take banana control. He's trying to fight it, but he get caught off guard. NIP get up to a 5-4 lead, have banana control, and at that point, the chances of winning the round is just maximized so much, and that's why I also gave kudos to ViCi, because despite the start of the round, despite NIP doing everything right in the beginning, they still managed to lose that round. They still not managed to take advantage of all the favorable situations they put themselves in.
I've seen a lot more, and correct me if you haven't noticed the same, I've seen a lot more CTs jumping for info over that half wall because of that deep smoke. They just jump, and then they can go wide if they need to.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you mentioned that because there's very specifics to jump spotting that wall. You want to go right to left instead of left to right, just the way that you're kind of traveling.
Okay.
Because the wall would protect you as opposed to the other side it wouldn't. And yeah, a lot of these pros have really mastered the art of jump spotting over that wall to make it very difficult to get one shot. But yeah, like Jacob said, you know, NIP did have the advantage of this round. When ViCi actually hit the B site, I actually thought NIP was set up pretty well. But unfortunately for them, ViCi didn't smoke spawn and NIP were playing double site. So it's like ViCi couldn't have gotten any luckier with how they entered that B site.
It's interesting stuff. I mean, Lecro did have a real hero round at times as well, desperately trying to get NIP across that line. But as we take a look at the highlights, you'll notice just how effective ViCi Gaming can be with this CT side. They managed to go ahead and close that one out, and we have ourselves a 3rd map. While the highlights do roll, I do want to make sure we have ample time to talk about Mirage. Any closing thoughts, though, on that Inferno before we venture into our 3rd and final map?
You see on the highlights transpiring on the screen right now, KC playing so well with the AVP. It almost reminds me of Fallen sometimes, the fact that he's always able to make something out of himself in a close quarter combat. Whenever somebody's close approaching him, he's always able to hit the shot, do some flaky stuff. He has a decent movement as well. He seems like a very viable AWP in those close corner situations. So we had talked about Inferno not being the best map for the AWPers. When you have a guy like that who's comfortable in those positions, it quickly becomes a very big strength for them.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway from this map is NIP needs more people other than Force to step up. Rez had a couple rounds here and there. We saw Get Right come up big. Lecro, that one clutch he had. Dennis is kind of missing right now, if I'm being honest, in this series. So I think they need Dennis to step up. Right now in ViCi, pretty much everyone is doing a phenomenal job. Allman had a good first map. Freeman, Kaze, Zoking. I've seen so many clips out of these players, particularly on Inferno, that You know, NIP needs to combat that firepower.
Yeah, and these are your stats for the series so far. Do take note, Alman's actually the leader across both maps, and that's testament to how much of a fantastic elimination game he is having. Of course, a promotion game as well. Decider matches going down all day today. At the bottom of the scoreboard for ViCi, Advent, he has been plagued by this throughout his time here in Katowice. It doesn't seem like the man can frag and lead at the same time so far.
It's a new level for him, right? We talked about in the pregame as well, him coming out saying he learns every single time he calls against European teams. It's still very new for him. So be able to call for ViCi right now and still delivering the same amount of frags he did in the minor, that's a tough task and that's a lot to ask for. I don't necessarily see him miss out too many shots. I don't think he's a very, I mean,
he's not scuffing around.
He's not scuffing around. It's not like he's a liability for them by any means. Whereas for NIP, you have a guy like Dennis who's supposed to be the star player of this team. He was brought in to be this new researching player for them. He came from Astralis when he was standing in for them, having some of the best Counter-Strike ever played from his side. Now, it's been a while since we've seen him being the old Dennis. So that is, as you said, a testament to the problems right now. Lack of firepower, lack of those individual players stepping up. That's a problem for NIP, especially on a map like Mirage.
And that is it. Mirage coming up. Sean, who's taking this one? Who is going to the Legend stage between ViCi and NIP?
The Chinese teams are so good on Mirage, so it's hard to pick against them. But I was impressed with NIP on Mirage so far against Furia and Renegades. Even though they lost that Renegades match, I thought they played pretty well. So I'm going to go NIP.
One for NIP. Certainly a lot of Pick'ems players at home thinking it. What about you, Jacob?
For my pick'ems, I would love to say NIP, but I think this one is going to be super close. I honestly can't tell you which team is going to win, because I think it's going to be a very aggressive match. It's going to be a fight for mid control. It's going to be messy in the beginning. It's going to be fun, and there's going to be a lot of tension. This is the map that's going to decide whoever goes to the next stage.
This is it. NIP have had their major dreams crushed in the past. These players, they wear their heart on their sleeve, at least the majority of them. And for ViCi, can they continue to follow in the footsteps of Tyloo? Tyloo, of course, to the Legends in London. Now ViCi looking to represent their nation as they start to move closer and closer. One map away. Ninjas in Pyjamas, ViCi Gaming with Moses and Vince.
Well, Pimp tiptoed around not giving us a prediction. But these two teams, there's no tiptoeing out of this one. They must win this. Each of them, all their dreams at IEM Katowice on the line here. Final map of the series. ViCi has been impressive. It's hard to go against the Legends in this final map. Forrest and GetRight playing so well on Inferno in a losing effort. And yeah, Machine said it right. They've been crushed in the past. I think this one would hurt even more.
Because they were so very close to making that comeback on the previous map, and now it's all down to this. Effectively a best of one. Two smokes with Nip posturing just outside of A. The bomb is under control from GetRight, who's one of those potential ramp players. Two coming through underpass. Alman's seen them both. He's going to pull back. Information gathered. At this stage, they know they can pretty much just stack A. You don't have to make any moves. The smokes, there's a slight gap in them, I believe. And it's going to allow Kaze and the rest of ViCi to start to claim some heads. It's going to be Advent that goes in first, claiming first blood in this all-important map, looking for seconds, and it's going to be Alman that takes it away from him. GetRight and Lekro both charging straight in with kills of their own. It's a complete chaos nightmare right now for ViCi. They're losing players left and right. Lekro's going to go down to the hands of Freeman, leaving GetRight once again in a 1v2 clutch. He's taken one of them down, but only has 8 HP to play with. The time is on his side for now, but he's going to go for that bomb plant, going to force it down. Put Freeman into a position where he needs to push him. Will the 8 HP be enough? Yes, it will! GetRight drills the head off of Freeman and clutches around. You can see what it means to him.
A smile on his face. That is a disgusting pistol round from GetRight. That is unreal. Low HP, immediate headshot. I do not know how NIP won that. I'm not going to lie. That was a beautifully called round for ViCi. It was stacked. They had 5 players there so quick. What a grinded out battle this was for NIP. And for GetRight to land this shot, Freeman can't even react in time. What a way to start map 3.
GetRight turning back the years with this performance. He was great in the last map as well, even though Nip lost it. And now full USPs for ViCi have to somehow reel back from that brutal loss.
At the same time, it's got to be like, for ViCi to know exactly what's coming. I don't know if NIP necessarily thinks it right now. Kaze gets 2. He continues his tear from Inferno, not able to salvage any weapons. Force not going to let him continue the battle. But to have read that pistol round so well, it almost makes me think, like, what else do they have in store for us moving forward into this half? Because ViCi, if they're going to anti-strat NIP, or if they have a good read on him in that situation, who knows when the gun rounds come out. Kaze was a monster with the AWP on Inferno. He's got it in his hands now, no armor. But NIP surely knows that he is going to be world-class in this series. They've got to be careful.
ViCi have continued to surprise, continued to impress over the duration of this tournament thus far. Yes, a bit of a heartbreak to start things off, but now they have weapons. Can they counteract? Can they eradicate this push? Derail the juggernaut that is Ninjas in Pyjamas. They haven't been able to stop the initial charge at the very least. They're going to have to regather and recuperate and try and retake, claim what was once theirs, because the bomb has now been planted.
And this is going to be so hard. They've got decent utility. They have no kits, though. This has to speed up. They need to wait for these smokes to clear. There's a chance here. 3 players coming from CT spawn. Dennis does massive damage onto Advent. Now he hides. Now he goes for another fight, but they've swung out wide. Still Forrest. Get Right has delivered already. Can Forrest do it as well? No, he looks away. He had the right read. Get Right, surely not one more. Kaze with the op is going to finish him off. No chance. Great retake. Excuse me, they did have 1 kit on Almond.
But shows how thinly spread their economy actually was on that retake. But they still get it done. The way Get Right's playing, you almost believe he's going to pull off that 1v3 clutch with the UMP, but of course it was always a mountainous task to ask from him. ZoKing doing work on the retake, as you can see, and ViCi, they have broken Nip back once again, and you can see the effect. It's pistols.
They could have forced a buy here if they had wanted to, but they have just too many players that are a little bit low that were right on the edge, so go for a conservative call early on in this half. And let's be honest, we've seen NIP win plenty of these. We almost saw them steal one away on Inferno against ViCi. Dennis, not expecting 1 player there. Immediate rotation, though. They're pulling out of the B bomb site. They just now stop, but it's actually only Freeman here for the moment. He has no idea. He's getting wrapped. This is a disaster for ViCi. NIP might have just done it again. I don't know how you get back into this. They're going to have a very tough battle.
Power of the pistols, and there's so much smoke around. This is going to allow Nip, the ninjas, to hide and wait. And strike Get Right Shao, looking for a spray. Not too far off, although he's been tagged heavily. I think at this stage, ViCi pull the plug. They tap out of the round. They know they can't afford to lose these weapons.
Yeah, they need to back away quickly. ViCi bite. That's not even a fake. That is just the smallest of presence by Dennis over at the A bomb site. But look at this, NIP with the half buy. They don't care about their money. They want to take the guns away. They've got the op on the ground. Lekro can pick that up. And he's not able to get the ensuing frag, but he's going to be joined up with Rez. Into the bomb site we go, and a headshot onto ZoKing. NIP have picked up the pace here. A 3-1 lead as they respond immediately.
Almost the worst case scenario too. ViCi get a win, reset themselves, and then instantly lose. $1,400 for ZoKing. Not much better for Alman. On a tightrope financially, and they need to see them somehow balance it out.
That's the kind of composure and experience that makes people lean with NIP in a 3rd map series of an elimination game at the Major. Dennis just walks up A ramp, takes 1 shot. The window player leans towards A. The B rotator evacuates the B bomb site, leaving Freeman high and dry all on his own. You cannot get pulled out by just 1 player, especially if he hasn't even gotten a kill.
Just being very careful. Clearing out all the angles with Molotovs at this stage. Systematically moving step by step forward onto the site, making sure it's a safe endeavor. And so far, so good for the Swedes. They have taken some damage, though, in mid. Dennis is down to 31. And his life is forfeit. That's an extra weapon that now goes across to ViCi. And they're doing some real damage here. This is getting scary now for Nip.
There's still plenty of time in this bomb timer if they want to try and go for it, at least see if they can grab another kill. But on the other hand, this is going to prevent them from saving any money if they can't win this out. Only 2 defenders here. This is a long flank from Lekro. NIP need to hold on as long as humanly possible. Forrest able to pick one off from A ramp. Rez responds, and there it is. Everything that ViCi gained in this round is taken back by NIP. Forrest, 3 kills in the round, and a big, big lead. Now ViCi have a decision to make. Their economy is not strong. They're also right on the edge. But they don't want to risk so much so early. Gonna go for pistols.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. This is still early days. You don't want to completely wreck yourself, getting carried away.
And especially when you look back to Mirage, how important Kaze was with that AWP. If you're ViCi, #1 goal on this defensive side is to get an AWP in his hands.
ViCi have lost the first player, Orman the first casualty. Aggressive positions that you'd expect when you have the likes of 5.7s and P250s around.
They have smokes as well. Zoking just wants to get the information and drop the smoke. He just doesn't want to use it before needed. Molotov going to keep NIP. They can't attack through it, so he's just going to wait till that fades.
Raz running some interference over on the B side, but ViCi aren't biting on this. Going to keep 2 players on A, one of which is Zoking, as we saw before.
This smoke could actually make things tricky for NIP. I imagine with a minute left in the clock, when Zoking drops this, they'll just wait behind it. Might allow a player to cheat over. It's actually pretty dangerous for them to go through this.
They're blocking each other, but there's a flashbang there. I'm not sure if GetRight realized it, but of course he did.
Likely just looking at the radar and realize he's not actually progressing anywhere and just takes the shot. Realizes he's blocked by a player. Freeman as well with the Deagle, gets 1 headshot, almost gets a second one. These are great damage on a Dennis who cannot land with that AK-47. And a 2-on-3, but ViCi's nearby. There's a possibility for them.
It certainly is. And now Dennis does need to be a little bit more careful. He's still peeking. That's going to be the kill going the way of Dennis. And now Freeman, 1 HP Dream. This could be the play of his life if he pulls this one off. They're such an integral part of this best of 3. Elimination on the line and intelligently nip double peek him. So 5-1 the score, but again, ViCi, even in rounds where you feel like they have no right to get close, they're taking 2-3 players down.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad round from them whatsoever. Puts GetRight at 850 and Dennis at 350. Plenty of money on Forrest, Rez, and Lekro. Now we get back to the buys. Kaze has his AWP, no utility. There's 1 kit on Freeman. Plenty of nades surrounding the AWP. But ViCi need to get started. This hap can slip away very, very fast.
This is what they've been waiting for the last couple of rounds. Kaze with an AWP. What kind of impact can he have? He's currently in window as you'd expect. Nip haven't really thrown any smokes out towards mid to try and take control. If they do dry peek this, Kaze could be in the thick of it. And the way he's been playing, he probably won't miss. Peeks out before, and that's the freest of kills for Kaze. It's going to be followed up with a frag onto Forrest, and for me, that's a head-scratcher.
Oh, yeah. I'm very confused. GetRight now trying to provide an entry up the A ramp, and he realizes 1 player at ticket booth, it's a retake strategy. He can gain a little bit more ground. Takes a big risk in a round where if they don't take any, they won't win. Question becomes, what can he provide his team? Hiding at the moment in Cubby. Looks like they're just going to rotate around towards A. They really are liking the space that ViCi is giving them. But this is a long time for GetRight to be on his own, worrying about multiple angles. Smoke towards CT spawn, GetRight. There's an AWP holding this angle. He's got to be careful. Kaze's blind. A nice flashbang gets the entry over towards stairs and the follow-up. GetRight delivering here in map 3. Over the top, though. So many bodies, so many angles to worry about. He just couldn't do it. Dennis is dinked. Not able to get anything done. Second round for ViCi, and they even pick up the AWP right at the end.
This is an old-school GetRight performance, though, so far, Moses. I am excited to see this guy right now. Forrest playing well, but Lekro really has been the main support. Driving force alongside GetRight. Only 4 ADR behind him at 107 with 7 kills. But here is the play that was a bit of a disaster, all things considered. Started things off horribly for Nip, and they never recovered.
Yeah, that was weird. No smoke in window, no flashbang to even give Lekro a half second to even try and take a duel. Maybe they just maybe they didn't think that ViCi would have an AWP out. This will be a crunch on that A bomb site eventually. A little bit more slow paced as two players, that's Rez and Dennis, making their way towards connector. Maybe trying to throw a distraction to get him up on the boost. Get right running through flames, gets dropped by the AWP. And Almond has been pulled far enough away from window for a boost to work, and even so, Zoking's in connector to shut it down before it even begins.
Excellent call for Kaze to go into A this time rather than window. He's in perfect position to lock down ramp. And that strat was pretty much identical to the pistol round. Now 2 players underpass, rest just chilling outside of ramp waiting for the smokes. So ViCi had been there and seen it before. And they will be rewarded more than likely with a 3rd round. The good news for NiP is they still have 2 healthy players in control of the bomb. The bad news is we're against 4 players. However, it is just Freeman by himself on B.
I was going to say, this is the only call you can really make if you want to have success. They're speeding things up, so Freeman will call the Opper over, or excuse me, he'll call Almond over. They need to get this kill, and they do very quickly. Almond can't take a wide angle. A real chance here. No nades for NIP in this post plant. There's a smoke and a flashbang for ViCi. And 1 player coming up catwalk. That's a big adjustment of the recoil. Lekro all alone, and he's dedicated to this bomb site. Big kill, big headshot, but not the follow-up.
Still good damage considering it was a 2-on-4 bomb plant and 2 extra kills. Going to hurt the economy of ViCi. Going to keep them honest, but NiP are in a position where things are a little bit tenuous. Lekro's going to have a bunch of fun, $7,000, but then you look at Get Right, 3.4K, Dennis, 3,000. Have a decision to make of their own.
I wouldn't mind them buying here after those 3 kills. You can get some rifles out. Lekro could even drop a Galil. And yeah, they are going to go. Forrest picks up the AK-47, so another gun round for us. NIP trying to throw what kind of a fake they could just to give an opening for a boost in towards window, take the attention away from mid. It just doesn't pan out that way. The AWP from Kaze shuts it down. And you're exactly right. It's good mobility with the AWP, a bunch of different looks that ViCi have thrown at NIP. Oh, this is an aggressive play. Rez starting to see this more and more from teams. Great nade. That seems to be the counter. Oh, he's able to find one. The player on bench isn't even looking. Freeman a little bit blind, and he's dropped without even firing a shot. And ViCi backing off already.
Clean, crisp take onto the B side. As you say, ViCi want no part of this, so they are going to be 6-3 behind on their CT side overall. Yes, they mounted a mini comeback, but this is still looking pretty rough.
They did this on Inferno down the stretch, though, and you have to appreciate it. Calling for saves early enough to where they can actually fight in the next round. They have 3 weapons they'll bring forward. Remember on Inferno when NIP was making that comeback happen. In a round loss, ViCi was able to save 3 weapons as well and close it out in the next round. So, well done from these guys.
NIP are going to be content to just hold on to their guns as well. So we're going to have somewhat of a repeat in the next round. With 3 save weapons, there will be some drops. So much on the line.
Exactly, but if you're up 6-3 on your T side 9 rounds in, that takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders. You feel much, much better about how this map is moving forward and how it's progressing. And NIP have a chance here to deliver a pretty harsh knockout punch. 1 reset of the economy in the rest of this half for ViCi. 6 rounds left to be played. And they'll be hurting. NIP would likely grab an advantage going into halftime.
At the same time, though, NIP may need to make sure they don't become complacent because ViCi, pardon me, have already shown how tenacious these guys are. They'll never give up.
They're doing the same strategy, just a little bit more quiet this time. Almond's blind. There is 1 player over by the bench as well, along the wall. Decent crossfire. Almond gives up his position. That's a big kill, a big follow-up from Freeman as well. Can they hold on even longer?
Molotov's going to draw Freeman out into the open, though, and Lekro will make the most of that. Dennis catches Zoking. Just trying his best to flank. Kaze's still alive with his AWP alongside Advent. Kaze can hear the footsteps in B-Apps. Could he possibly get this pick onto Dennis? If he peers around this corner, he should have it for free. Able to perforate Dennis into an early grave, but the damage has already been inflicted, with it only being Kaze in a post plant. It's going to be another save, another round to the sweets.
It's actually kind of good that that hit wasn't as convincing as the previous for NIP, because they actually got to lure, I believe that was Advent right at the end, or Advent or Almond.
It's Advent, yeah.
And into sticking around and trying to go for the retake while Kaze had the possibility of a flank, so they get to take way more weapons away. And now, this is what I was mentioning, ViCi truly in some trouble now. 2,000 on Almond, 2,300 on Advent, 2,600 on Freeman. And yeah, the AWP is nice. You can drop a FAMAS over if they want to force up here, but that's pretty much risking the entire half on this next buy. They've got timeouts they can use, ViCi. Still 4. This is a great rebuttal from Forrest and Lekro. Even though 2 players had gone down, they knew the positioning of the 2 initial defenders at the B bomb site.
No further investment apart from Zoking with a P250 armor. This is beginning to spiral out of control. The Ninjas win this round. Whatever happens, they will be leading at halftime. It's just a case of how many rounds can they add to it. But they have to respect Kaze's AWP. Time and time again, he was the beacon of hope for ViCi on Inferno. Here come the nades, and Nip will push behind it. Get right. Acting as somewhat of an entry fragger at this stage, is landing heads left and right. Going to pick up another one partially through the wooden floorboards. And this round is pretty much over at this stage. Lekro is just spraying through the smoke and connects onto Kaze.
They mentioned it on the desk. Good performances from Forrest and GetRight in the series leading into this map, but we were going to need to see Lekro step up to the plate, and he has. 13 and 4 for him, 114 ADR. GetRight at 11 and 7. Freeman for ViCi is leading the way at 10 and 10.
One of the last opportunities on this half, potentially, for ViCi to muster up a buy of this magnitude, but can they make it work? Spam through the smoke from Kaze. Yields the kill onto Rez, gonna alleviate some of the pressure that was in mid. But Dennis is still there alongside Lekro. And if Kaze's not careful, he will have his head taken off. They are going to maintain the player advantage. This is one of the better opportunities that ViCi have had.
3 players in mid as well. They should be able to handle this, and Kaze's looking right for the boost. Smoke is going to obscure his vision, though. How does Lekko want to approach gaining that map control? Molotov forces the cat player away. That's Alman. He'll only be held off briefly as Dennis makes his way into connector. And Lekro biding his time. A big rotation, though, as a player flanking underpass. Lekro drops down, has no idea. Now NIP realize the danger they're in. They realize that ViCi has all the information needed to win this round, but Zoking gets baited into an awkward fight. Dennis now going to control jungle and window room.
Needs to make sure he doesn't get taken down by Kaze first. He's going to get the frag through the wall onto GetRight. Trying to escape from the site, and down goes Dennis. And with him, ViCi will pluck out a 4th round.
Just barely, though. It's nice to have that round. Still on the ropes, economically speaking. And NIP have guaranteed a lead going into the second half.
They've been losing post plants. Name a more iconic duo. They've been pretty good at that today. Holding on to the post plants, I'd say.
I was going to say, GetRight has something to say about that.
I feel like most of the clutches have gone their way today. I'd be interested on the percentages.
There's been some nice retakes from ViCi across these 3 maps. Here we go. Molotov on a ramp, making sure that nothing fast can happen from the Ninjas. K's at distance, 1 on top of the balcony. And remember, GetRight made the assumption that he would be the only one at ticket booth. Rez needs to find this kill, and he's going to get it through the boards. Kaze is down as well, and oh my god, Zoking had the lineup. He was so blind, and GetRight acrobatic, but no one covering the planner. Dennis goes down immediately after.
Rez carefully decides better of pushing that smoke. It could have put Nip into a 2-on-2 needlessly. Gonna make sure he doesn't make any careless plays. The smoke acting like a wall right now. Gonna be a Molotov right behind it. And this is wasting so much time.
The bomb isn't planted for anyone on NIP. They have to be careful about this. There's a chance for ViCi, and Lekro is going to shut it down. If they had been able to cross over to the bomb, a player in window room, a player in connector, and a player on A ramp, they would have been really tough to stop that. I don't know if there was a kid on the other player that died first. There wasn't a lot of money for ViCi, and they'll reset again.
Alman narrowly escaping death. He will be able to hold on to the AUG. An important takeout of the round for ViCi. They're going to have at least something to play with.
I don't think there's any more silver linings for ViCi. Down 4-9, you have no money. Even though you have one AUG to fight with, that doesn't feel good in any way. And if you're ViCi, you're facing the fact that 5 might be the best you can get in this first half.
Yeah, pretty dark cloud looming over the head of ViCi in their hopes to move through to the group stage of the major. A lot brighter for Nip. Dennis, free kill onto Kaze. Will be lining up the grenade to see what he can do under triple box. Meanwhile, they're going to force their way through mid, but it's into the wall of Lekro. And he repels everybody.
That AWP, due to the money issues of ViCi throughout this half, the AWP of Kaze has been really neutralized. Even the few times we've seen him have it, not a great amount of impact that has come out, especially compared to Inferno.
So final round here, Moses, and the buy, pretty scarce. Not looking great, couple FAMASes.
Tell you that round lineup that we see in the middle of our screen right now is not pretty for ViCi. Even the wins they've had have been diffuses. NIP, even in losses, have been finding success. They've been getting that bonus money as well. They haven't really had a whole lot of issues.
Can ViCi get a 5th? Zoking, aggressive position, could be called into action. He's going to get 1, but he was out of shadow. Kaze, somehow, someway, plucks out a 2K with his FAMAS. Now Forrest spraying through the smoke wildly. He's not going to get anything done. They were playing for Dennis to try and wrap around through connector, but he realizes that Forrest needs help right now. And although Dennis has the AWP, this could get up close and personal because flashes and smokes are being exchanged between the teams. Forrest has had enough of it. He's going to go in with frags alongside Dennis. And now Kaze is the last to fall off the half, and Nip will have the 11-4 commanding lead.
Great performance from NIP. Forrest with 12. Get right with 12 and that incredible clutch in the pistol that got him started. But Lekro showed up big, 18-6. ViCi staring down the barrel of elimination. We'll see if they can avoid it when we return.